Today I'm going to simulate Poppy Playtime Chapter 5 in LEGO by recreating all the important characters in LEGO, then animating their scenes from the chase scene to Lily Lovebreeds to the most shocking parts of the entire game. Building all the different detailed characters, jump scares, and even deaths. But first I want to start by building a damaged Huggy Wuggy. Because the last time I built a Huggy, it was this really friendly looking one that doesn't match how damaged and scary he looked in the game. So I went to my parts collection and started gathering enough parts to build this damaged version of him, which is probably going to chase me down later. Then I put all my parts on the table and scanned them using the Brickify app, which gave me instructions as well as where the parts were on the table. And like that, I have this really cool battle-damaged Huggy Wuggy from Brickify. And he's freaking scary looking. He's got these giant lips with full-on teeth. He's all bandaged up and missing a hand. And he's even got broken legs. I don't know if I'd want to hug him. He doesn't look very huggable in my opinion. I'd definitely give this Huggy Wuggy like a 9 out of 10 in terms of how accurate it is. I mean, bro, look at him. Alright, now I need to build him digitally and have him chase down the player. I also built up this quick grab pack using these macaroni pieces, studs, and some Technic. Alright, this isn't stable. Let's add some handles. Alright, boom, now that we have two, I went into Blender and rebuilt the models. It didn't take that long, but you know, they still look pretty good. And now I just have to texture out the whole hallway, adding all the different details and buttons from the game. And now it's just gonna take some time to animate, so let's grush. And after all that hard work, this is what we came up with. Oh my gosh, no! Okay, I think I got it landed. I think we're good. Oh my goodness! Well, hey, at least he has his grab pack. No, his grab pack! Now next in the game, you get sent down this dark and scary elevator after, you know, Huggy grabbed your grab pack. And when you come out, you start seeing all these little guys crawling around. And they're called... what did I just watch? Anyways, I want to build a few of them, so I went to my parts and got cracking. This little blue one is one of them, and it's super freaky. Got these little brickhead's eyes. So I built him a friend who's green and has a hot dog for a mouth. Now, obviously there are a bunch of inside animals, but we only really saw 2 in the game. Now, one of these inside animals ended up attacking the player, but ended up getting beaten away by this little bear guy named Giblet. He leads the resistance against the prototype, and I want to make him as a minifigure. So I went to my minifigure collection and grabbed this Jonesy, as well as this head of Chip from Disney. I was going to use Fozzie from the Muppets, but his head just isn't the same size as Giblet's, and it doesn't look as accurate. Then I went to my minifigure parts sorter and got legs and arms for Giblet. Then I put down the legs, torso, and head. Obviously, that's not gonna work. And next we're gonna pop and swap the arms off this torso. Oh, we gotta fix those hands. Wait a minute, you know, I just realized something. Giblet? He doesn't wear any pants. Yeah, seriously, look at the picture of him. What? So, I guess we gotta take off your pants, bro. Alright, we're going to the minifig part collection. Alright, where's butt naked bear pants? No, those are all too tall. Oh, here we go. Alright, Giblet, get ready to show your giblets. Well, that's technically more accurate. Last I want to get him his little power stick. So I got this for the tip of it. Alright, then we're gonna grab one of these. Alright, and we're gonna add this in, and then we're gonna add this in. I don't know, that looks like a pretty good Giblet. Alright, now the only thing I have to add left is the eye patch, because, you know, he's been damaged since his original version. So I went to my supply shoebox, got a paintbrush, and some black paint.
Careful, SpongeBob! Careful, SpongeBob! SpongeBob, careful! Careful, SpongeBob! Careful, SpongeBob! Careful, SpongeBob! Careful, SpongeBob!
Oh shoot, I could have just done this on a knockoff Freddy Fazbear. I just wasted a perfectly good official LEGO minifigure, no! Hey Giblet, what are you doing? Well, I'm gonna smash in these 3 boys if they hit the subscribe button right now. Wait, what? I'm not one of them. All right, guys, you're gonna hit that subscribe button up there in 3, 2, 1, boop. All right, they did it. No, they didn't. Oh, dang, what do you mean you guys didn't do it? Oh, you didn't? All right, we're gonna do it now. Why? Ready? 3, 2, boop. Okay, great, you all did it. Yay, I'm safe. Thank you for not hitting me, Giblet. And after he took out those inside animals and Walter, he sent us up on a mission to get a new grab pack. And in the game, the grab pack was square in the mouth of this toy dinosaur Brawn. And conveniently, there's this red Lego dinosaur set out with a similar color scheme, and I'm gonna buy it. Copped. All right, let's see if it's here. It's here. All right, and here it is. Let's crack it open. All right, let's get to building. It looks good, but there's still some modifications I have to make. And one of the first things you notice about Brawn is his big eyes that are a little droopy, and this dinosaur's eyes just aren't gonna cut it. So I started tearing apart the head to try and make eyes that look a little more droopy. I got these white cylinder pieces, and I got some of these poles, slipped them into the head. I tried connecting it that way, but it didn't really work. So then I tried another thing, and I started building up this whole thing to hold the eyes, and then I realized, yeah, that's a little too goofy. So he needs eyelids, and I built up this other little contraption, and now he looks a little sleepier. But the other thing Brawn doesn't have is teeth, which is a little bad for a dinosaur. So I decided I probably need to take out his teeth. We're just gonna pull on this tooth out and this tooth. I low-key feel like a dinosaur dentist right now. And boom. And then I just gotta position him a little better, and now he looks a lot closer. But another thing that was interesting about him in the game is his guts were spilling out and the inside animals were eating him. So for his guts spilling out, I got these pink pieces, and we're just gonna do this and this. Bada boom. All right, we got that. Then we got this. All right, and here is our boy, Brawn the dinosaur. Yeah, bro's guts are spilling out. No, don't eat at my boy. Now the last thing I need to do is build the new grab pack and put it in his mouth. All right, we're just gonna put this over here and do that. All right, now he's got the grab pack in his mouth. Awesome. All right, let's arm Blocky with the new grab pack. Boom. This one looks and functions a little differently than the last grab pack. Wait a minute, what does this do? Awesome. And when we go back with our new grab pack, we have to meet the next character. And it's Chum Chompkins. And he's a bro who hides you in his pouch like a mama kangaroo. Or stomach, I don't know where we are right now. And I want to build a very accurate version of him. So I went back to my parts pile, dumped it, scanned it with Brickify, and boom, we have almost enough parts to build Mr. Chompkins. So let's do it. And boom, there he is. This dude's really cute and looks just like Chum Chompkins, which I was really disappointed about because he looks so adorable. Anyway, he has these functioning arms. He's got this arm hair under his arm. Ew. And then he's also got another arm. Oh no. Get back in there, Chum. Although he wouldn't be the first character from this franchise to lose an arm. He's got all these details everywhere. He's got 2 eyeballs, and you know, he just looks really cool in red. Yo, he's even got some cake going on. What the heck? Yeah! And this is his mouth, or pouch, but it's a pouch with teeth that makes it more like a mouth. And look, we also fit guys in his pouch, like actual minifigures. No, not again. Oh, please don't eat me, please don't eat me. Oh. Ew, that sounded way too realistic. He also matches the scale of our boy Giblet a lot better. He could like ride him like he's his pal. And we're gonna put him right over here. Yo, they all fit in really well together. I can't wait to build the next character. Anyways, next in the game, we ended up having some bad dreams, and now Huggy's back. And we ended up confronting our next character, Lily Lovebraids, who I still have to design. And she also has this crazy hair that she's completely enveloping us in. Wait, what? New in the game, Lily has a purple shirt, and there aren't many of those in Lego, so I got this one from Mojo Jojo, and then I got the star piece and backpack piece, then connected them to the Mojo Jojo torso. All right, that's pretty good so far. I went back to my minifigure collection to get the Bright Bomber for her legs, and my minifigure parts for the skirt piece. I'm sorry. Ugh. All right, now we just need a face. And I'll be honest, this one's pretty tough. So I went on ChatGPT and typed in this prompt with Lily, and hopefully we'll get an accurate face. Hey, that's pretty good.
Hey, that's pretty good.
All right, so we went to the printer, got the faces, cut them up, and taped it to the head. And the last thing I have to do for Lily Love Braids is the hair. So I graded my grandma's yarn bin, and we probably should cut up some of these to give to Lily. Hey, get out of there. All right, let's try the first strand. Boom. Yeah, that's not gonna work. We need to think of something better. So I got out this minifigure of Rumi, and, I'm kind of just gonna... Oops. All right, so we can put that here. That at least, makes the base of the character look good. And then you could start adding all the extra hair stuff from, I guess, that. All right, now we're just gonna put this here. And boom, we have Lily Love Braids. And I'm not gonna know how to braid any of this, because I'm not a girl. All right, but we're still gonna try. All right, we got 1 and 2. And that's my attempt at Lily Love Braids. Well, at least we don't have to worry about that yarn hair doing anything bad, right? Right? No! So in the game, Lily brought the player to this cell with Poppy and Kissy Missy, who I want to attempt to build. So let's go back to the parts collection and try Brickify again, because this thing's really useful for building all the characters from Poppy Playtime Chapter 5. And here's our build of Kissy Missy. And she's missying an arm. What the heck? Anyway, she has this whole burnt side of her face. She was really not looking in good shape in the new chapter, and she'll go really great next to Huggy. But before we can get her out of prison, we need to build the next character she was with, Poppy. And here's our girl, Poppy. She looks really cool, has these cool arms, and, it's pretty basic. But more importantly, she's in scale with Kissy Missy. Oh, Kissy can't stand. All right, let's get these guys out of the Brickify Scanner studio. All right, now we have to free these two from Lily. Let's try that feature with the grab pack we tried earlier. All right, yay, we're free. Oh no, not again. Yeah, so in the game, she took all of them to this weird tea party where we were finally introduced to the big bad of the entire game, the prototype. But first, I have to build him, and he has a lot of weird and complex parts, so I'm gonna start with it digitally. All right, so I started off by building the base, then adding some weird guts on the inside of him. Then I started texturing out his torso with all those weird bone things that he has in the front of him. And then I started clipping in his legs, which he has a lot of. Then in his front, he has Huggy's arm, Kissy's arm, and Mommy Longlegs. Well, arm, not leg. And they're all just sticking out there, so I had to clip them all in. Then we added his little rib cage, and now it's time for his actual clown costume. And a part of that is his arms, which have these giant scissor knives. And the last part was really easy because it was the head, he has his little clown hat, and then I just slapped on this tile. But now that the model's done, it's time to recreate the scene that he was introduced in animation. And now I just need to work and animate out the whole scene for the prototype, but we're gonna do it in Lego.
It's like a child because
The child.
is what they made you.
You're hurting me!
Don't be afraid.
All right, that was awesome, but now that the prototype is fully unleashed and the gang escaped, they still have to deal with a Lily. Oh wait, right? Hey Lily, where are you going? Oh, she's not dead. Oh, now she is. I guess we don't have to deal with her anymore. She was basically the Doc Ock of Poppy Playtime anyway. So that was a lot. So the next scene, we're gonna calm down a bit and I'm gonna recreate Huggy's and Kissy's reunion. So I built out this small room and put our two characters in here and started to recreate their emotions from this scene. And like that, we have Huggy and Kissy Missy's big reunion. No! Oh no, we have to escape. Not again.
May you descend into the dark and the dust.
I thought you were gone.
Wait a minute, we're alive? Giblet? All right, I still have to build one more character that was revealed at the end of the game, and that's Dr. Harley Sawyer, who's alive and well in this filing cabinet that Giblet's I guess been holding out on us the whole time. And I guess I have to build him. So I went back to the part pile one more time and scanned all my bricks with Brickify, and it turns out I have enough parts to build him. All right, and inside is the Doctor. He even has his eye and everything, but I think there's a little bit of a cooler mod we could do to this.
My name is Harley Sawyer. I'm called the Doctor.
All right, and now that's legitimately all the different scenes from Poppy Playtime Chapter 5 in LEGO. So now we're gonna build ones from the other chapter. Today, I'm taking all the scariest characters from the latest Poppy Playtime game, Chapter 5, and recreating them in LEGO. So stay tuned, because by the end of this video, I'm gonna recreate all the character decks. Anyways, LEGO. Now, Poppy Playtime Chapter 5 is one of the darkest, most brutal chapters in the entire series. We get chased by Huggy Wuggy, meet new characters like Giblet, Lily Lovebraids, and my boy Chum Chompkins, and then of course finally meet the prototype, who might be my least favorite character ever because spoilers. But before we build him, I'm going to build the battle-damaged Huggy Wuggy. But I don't know if I have all the parts to do one. So I dumped out my LEGO collection and scanned them with Brickify. And it looks like I was able to gather all the parts to build him. So I followed the instructions on the app and got all the parts for my pile. All right, let's build. And like that, we have this adorable Huggy Wuggy build, using all the parts that I already had from my collection. Now this model is really cute, but I need to mod it, because in the game, he was really battle damaged, losing his arm and having these much darker eyes. So first I went to my collection to get some new studs, for the black ones. Oh, these should do. And then I swapped them both out. And now we just need to remove one of his arms, because, you know, it was ripped out. Yeah, that was pretty easy. He has all these cuts and bruises, which is why I have this black piece here. I don't know how I'm gonna really simulate like the tape feature in LEGO, unless I had like rubber bands or something. And we also used some color variety because A, I didn't have them, and B, he was, you know, kind of a little more colorful than he usually is. But before we could recreate the chase scene, I need to build a grab pack for the player, who's gonna be me. All right, let's build this grab pack. So I got these macaroni pieces from my Technic collection, and then got all these other studs, and we're gonna build the player with these yellow pants, torso, and head. Wait a minute, we can't see his face. Hey, blur that right now. All right, grab pack assembly time. All right, now here's our final grab pack. And you know what? I'm just gonna get on into it. All right, we're locked in. He's right behind me, isn't he? Ah! All right, I think we're safe. No, my grab pack! Ugh, give it back! Ugh, no! Well, at least I was able to escape, even though I lost my grab pack. But how am I gonna defend myself? Wait a minute, what's that? I need to build our boy Giblet to stop him. He's this bear-looking guy with an eye patch, and in the game, he's actually your ally. Before the game started, he was organizing resistance against the prototype alongside Poppy, and we have to build him. So I went to my parts again and got scanning with the app, and boom, more instructions of Giblet. So let's build him. Alright, building him is pretty simple, the instructions are pretty great, but you know, he's kind of big. At least for compared to him in the actual game. Because he's a small boy. But the build looks about as accurate as you could get for a brick built thing, and now we could have him save the player. Because, you know, he doesn't have his pack. Get him off of me, please, oh! Help, anybody, I don't have my pack. Ugh. Oh, whoa, thank you, who are you?
My name's Giblet. I knew Poppy back before, well, before everything.
Now this next character is interesting. This is Chum Chonkins, my guy on the inside.
This is Chum Chompkins, my guy on the inside.
Now Chum Chompkins is kind of chunky and kind of looks like a short round version of Huggy Wuggy. He also has a scene in the game so gross that I actually felt uncomfortable. He flippin' ate me to hide us from the prototype. I don't know if that's a really nice thing or really weird thing. Probably really nice. He gave me a pat on the head. But now I have to build him in Lego and recreate that, which shouldn't be too hard, right? Right? Yeah, this is way harder than I thought. And here's Mr. Chompkins. And I realized the reason his last name is Chompkins is because, you know, he opens up his mouth and he'll eat you. Chum, you won't eat me, right? I don't know. Maybe you should get closer. Okay. Oh, no. Now my build is kind of meh of him. I'm not super happy with it. But as this video hits 5,000 likes, I'll do another video where I build a better one. Now the next characters I have to build are actually minifigures of characters who were put in jail by the prototype that I got from previous unboxings of Kissy, Missy, and Poppy. But in the game, Kissy was so damaged she even lost an arm. So we're just gonna, you know, so there's a slightly more accurate version of Kissy, and don't worry, we'll modify Poppy a little later. All right, this next character, Loki, reminds me of another animated character from this year. Just in terms of looks. It's Lily Lovebraids. She's super scary and makes her guys join her tea party. So to build her the first character I wanted to get from my collection was this custom minifigure of Rumi, specifically because she has the only purple braided hair on a Lego minifigure that I own. Next I wanted to steal the face from the Queen of Hearts, which looks a lot closer to Lily's. Ooh, the irony. Yeah, that's a face. And then I took Mojo Jojo for his torso, because it's the only torso I have that most closely matched Lily. Yeah, Lego just doesn't make anyone in purple other than the Joker.
I'm the Joker, baby!
And the last thing I think she needs is a skirt. I went to my minifigure parts collection and found one. Yeah, that'll do. Now if I had Starfire, I'd probably use her eyes, but I don't. So this is about as good as I could get. Well, unless I, you know, take off that hair and put on this more purple one. Just Lego doesn't make purple hair that long. And you guys all know who crashed the tea party, the biggest bad guy ever in the game, the prototype. And he's actually so scary.
Bringing in an outsider.
And I have absolutely zero clue how I'm supposed to build this guy. Like, what even is that? I guess I could start with his top half. Prototype has this skeleton face, so I got this Jack Skellington minifigure. And I also got this custom Wolverine and Pomni. I'm obviously going to use for his head, because, you know, it kind of matches. And I'm just gonna put the face on Pomni. And then we gotta take the claws off of Wolverine and replace Pomni's hands with them. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this looks bad. Like, really bad. Wait a minute, I have an idea. So let's build it. Now this is a crab droid from Star Wars. Conveniently has a total of 6 legs. And you know who else has 6 legs? The prototype. You're coming with me. All right, I'm just gonna add on this clip here, and then we're gonna take him, and she's gonna go right over here. Now the only thing that he's missing is those arms from, you know, Huggy Wuggy and Kissy Missy that he stole. And luckily we have a little attachment spot for him, but first I have to get pieces for the arms. All right, there's some blue ones. And I have an idea for pink. All right, so we have this extra attachment here, and then I'm gonna add this piece. All right, there's Huggy's arm. I don't want it to be too big because it didn't show him that crazy on him. And then we'll do the other one as Kissy's. We got that right there. Now we have a semi-functional version of the prototype. I can't believe I just took Star Wars instructions and made it into a freaking Poppy Playtime character. Oh no, look who showed up to the tea party. You wanted to hurt everyone, even grabbed Poppy and popped her eye out. Oh. But Kissy Missy came and slapped some sense into him, and then they all scattered. Find them. Anyway, the two of them were able to escape, at least for a little bit, and chased down by Lily Lovebraids, whose hair was trying to attack them. You can't escape me! Ah! Hey, look, I'm alive! Ugh. Well, now she's not. Anyway, they were all able to escape, but before I can reunite Huggy and Kissy, I want to build a minifigure scale version of Huggy. So I got this minifigure from the web, and we're gonna build it. All right, let's rip this boy open. Yup, that's Huggy. All right, we have this arm of his, and then we also have this one. Then we can put in his oddly human-looking hands. That's uncomfortable. That is also uncomfortable. Boom, head. All right, yeah, that's a bit of a better scaled Huggy, but you know, there's something about the new Huggies. Sorry, bro. All right, and after all that, Huggy and Kissy can finally be reunited. No! No, don't do that, I'm so sad. Oh, poop. Ah! Okay, I think we escaped him. Wait a minute, I'm not dead. What? Hey, we thought we lost ya. We still have one more character to build. Okay. I don't get it, it's just a normal filing cabinet. Wait a minute, let's get out the Skibbity Toilet guy. Oh, it's a TV screen. All right, let's see who's actually inside here. And there's one more thing we have left to do. Today I'm going to take iconic characters from Poppy Playtime and build them out of my pile of Lego bricks, and along the way recreate their iconic scenes from the game. And the first character I want to make is the Prototype. He's the big bad of the entire series and finally appeared in Chapter 5. And I want him to be minifig scale. So after dumping out my collection, I brickified my pile. Alright, and we have enough for the Prototype, so let's start building.
He's stretchy, he's gummy, he's squishy, he's funny. D-O-E-Y. He's silly, he's gooey, he's sticky, he's gluey.
Alright, wait a minute. Almost done. No, he looks pretty cool. But wait a minute, I can make him better. So I went to my Disney figure collection and grabbed a Jack Skellington head. Nope, that won't do. There it is. Because, you know, they have a pretty similar face. And we're just gonna take it back, pop it on, and now we have a Jack Skellington Prototype. He's sufficiently creepy, has the arms of Mommy Longlegs, Kissy Missy, and Huggy Wuggy, and the skin of Catnap. And conveniently, I have a Huggy and Kissy minifig, which is cool because... Wait a minute. Huggy, Kissy, you know what's going on?
And you repaid me by
Bringing in an air saver.
Oh no, Kissy. Then the next character I'm gonna build is our boy Huggy Wuggy. Not like the minifig version, like the actual damaged one from Chapter 5. But the first thing I have to do is dump out all the parts. Alright, and here's our boy Huggy Wuggy, or should I call him City Witty, because, you know, he's sitting. Yeah, he's really damaged, and he has these bandages, these bloody spots, and even this chunk coming out of his head. Yo, Huggy, how are you doing? Yo, look, Huggy's holding me. Please don't eat me, Huggy. Okay, I'm gonna run away now. Alright, it's Kissy time! Ah! I guess now I know what it's like to get kissed. And the first thing I had to build for Kissy was the torso, then all the other body parts. It was pretty simple. Half of it was black and half of it was pink, because, you know, in the game, she just got completely charred. Poor Kissy. I actually always liked her, even though, you know, she chases you. Anyway, she's very furry, and we're using all these slope pieces for the fur. And then I built out her arm and her legs. She's missing another arm, because, you know. And then I just put in her eyes. One is full of life and one is a little droopy. And she looks pretty good. She literally looks like the toys from the game. It even has the like flexibility of like a stuffed animal. Her and Huggy can even have this cute bonding and be really cute with each other. Oh, look at them. They could hug and kiss. Look at the little adorable guys. Hopefully the prototype, you know, does it. You know what, we're just gonna ignore that. Now this Poppy's a lot easier because, you know, she's small. But remember how the prototype, you know, kind of popped her eye out? So this build has that too. All right, so the first thing we have to build is the feet. All right, now that we got that done, it's dress time. All right, so we're gonna build Poppy, and this is gonna be interesting. That's not a promise, but it's probably what's gonna be. All right, now we're gonna do the head, the hair, and the face. Oh yeah, right, she has a torso too. I kind of forgot about that. And legs, oops. Awesome, we have Poppy. But since we have this broken Kissy and broken Poppy, I'm gonna have them both try to escape the prototype. Now there's another character in that whole tea party scene that I want to make, and it's Lily Lovebraid. Now she's really cool because she's basically the main bad guy of the game outside of the prototype, who's like the bad guy of the series. And she has this really cool thing she could do with her hair, where she could literally grab anyone with it. And I want to do that in Lego form. And building her should be pretty simple. So I started off by making her whole torso, and she has this little star at the center of it because she's supposed to be like some type of kindergarten teacher turned, you know, evil pear lady. And then it was doing her head, which also wasn't that hard. The hard part for Lily Lovebraids, of course, is her braids, you know, because she has a giant hair with this little guy in it. And that took me legitimately forever. But here she is. Bro, she's actually evil looking. What the heck? Why is there a hole in her neck? Also, it's low-key kind of weird. If you remove the smile on her face, she literally just looks like she's whistling. All right, enough. Bro, this thing's freaking awesome. Now the issue is she's really unstable. I mean, watch this. Bleh. And she also comes with this little koala toy, which is cool. But in order to actually do something with her, I have to build her little inside out. They're those little guys that were running around and eating out of brawn and attacking you where Giblet had to save you. So we're gonna try to get one of those so that way she could grab one with her hair. Isn't that right, Lily? And conveniently, we have the parts for two of them. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is this little inside Outimals leg. I don't think these guys have names. I think it's just like random inside Outimal number 1 and 2. So we're just gonna try our best here. All right, we got the torso. We're gonna snap in the arm. Where's the other arm? Get it? Boop. And of course, the head. Sweet. He comes with these little jagged teeth. And we gotta build out the rest of the mouth. All right, and then we're gonna snap in his eyes, and bro looks goofy. I mean, legitimately, these inside Outimals are kind of cursed. But it looks like we still have enough for some more, and even some extra hair that maybe I didn't add on to Lily. Sorry, Lily. Ah! Oh no, she's got me!
Oh, you're gonna get it now.
All right, now these are all the characters we have so far, but we still have to build a couple more from Poppy Playtime Chapter 5. But out of all of these builds so far, I'd say probably the best one is Huggy Wuggy. He looks the most accurate, he's the most battle damaged, and Lily just can't stand upright. I'm not even gonna push her over. Now before I could build the prototype, I had to dump out all my Lego parts and download the Brickify app, because I'm gonna use it to scan all my parts and see if I could sort them all out and have enough to build it. And it looks like I do. So let's get cracking. All right, now that we have the parts scanned, let's build the base. We need to make connection points for the legs. So we're gonna do this. All right, we need one of these. Boom. All right, we're gonna attach this to this base. This is where the fun begins. Oh, and by the way, huge shout out to Brickfolk for the designs. I have to put all these in here. All right, now we gotta build its guts. This piece, we need 4 of these, and some of these, and some of these. All right, now it's time for the rib cage. I don't know why I said it like that. All right, now time to add the actual ribs. Oh, bruh, it sounds like I said Oprah. You get a rib, you get a rib, you get a rib. For those who don't know, Oprah gave out cars, not ribs. All right, we're locking this back in. All right, now we just gotta finish off the body. All right, now we're adding the catnap back. Oh yeah, I guess this is the front side of him. All right, these are where the hands are gonna go. All right, now we're gonna add all these stud hopper round pieces, and then we're gonna do these. Boop, click, pop. All right, it's cat skin time. Yo, okay, now he's starting to look like a thing. Well, not on this side, but don't worry, it'll get there too. All right, we're adding his little light. All right, and we're adding another 2 of these bad Larrys. Okay, this is sick. Now we gotta add those extra arms. And the first one we're doing is Kissy Missy. Here's her hand, and here's her thumb. Wait a minute, is this the head? Oh, I feel dumb. All right, let's wrap up the head. We're so close. All right, last hat, or whatever these are called. All right, now you have this eye and this eye hole, and then the mouth. I'm iffy about the face. It's neck time. Yeet. All right, we're getting close. Okay, and here's our boy, the prototype. Yeah, I mean, look at this guy. He looks great. The issue is the legs. Unless you have those little clear pieces, they just don't work, and he just collapses in on himself like a dying prototype. I could totally see him killing the player. Wait, what? Hey, what's going on? Well, friend, did you subscribe? No, I didn't. You should subscribe. No, he's not joking. Do it now. All right, but now that we built the prototype, we have to put him at the bottom of the factory. And this is gonna be difficult just because the bottom of the factory is like right here. So what if we tried putting him at the top for a little bit? All right, let's go all the way upstairs. Oh, yo, it's the prototype. In this video, I'm gonna build the life of Huggy Wuggy in Lego. From his creation at Playtime code, to his vent chases, all the way to his death. So stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you're gonna get hugged. Anyways, Lego. Now, Huggy Wuggy is one of the most iconic horror game characters literally ever created. He started as a friendly mascot for Playtime Co. in the 1980s, had his own toy line, commercials, and even a theme song.
It's Huggy, Huggy Wuggy, when he hugs you, he'll never stop.
Now in the game, we never saw Huggy as a baby, but Playtime Co. did make him as a little toy Wuggy, and I'm gonna build one. Alright, so we're gonna open the Brickify app, and then there should be a pile scanner right over here. Click. All right, let's see if we have enough parts to build a Huggy Wuggy. All right, we're done. All right, let's see what builds we can add. All right, Smurf, Flower, Running Man, Rainbow, Car, Mini Huggy. All right, let's build this guy. All right, so the first thing I gotta build a Mini Huggy is the Wuggy legs. All right, we gotta connect these. All right. We're gonna clip in this hand and this hand. Bada boom. We got this torso and the arms. All right, it turns out the little Wuggy also has hands. So we're gonna add those, add this tile. We have this one over here. Gonna give him a neck, and then a headpiece. Where is that? All right, we got this here and this here. And the next thing we're gonna do is this boy and this boy, and then we're just gonna attach this here. And the last thing we have to do is the mouth and eyes. Got mouth 1, mouth 2, eyeball 1, and eyeball 2. Oh, sweet. And boom, we have a baby Wuggy. He's so cute. Now in chapter 5, we saw how Huggy Wuggy became evil and how Playtime Co. put real people into all the toys, then made Huggy literally sacrifice all of them. So I'm gonna recreate that scene where he broke out after they tried brainwashing him into thinking he was a giant toy. so I hopped on my computer and got to building out the characters, specifically starting with this freaky guy. And since this is a first-person point of view of Huggy, we just had to build his arms. And then I had to quickly build something that represents the chamber he was in with all the screens and windows, and of course the hallway, which we're going to need. And now I had to make and animate out this whole scene, having Huggy go all the way down the hallway, which took approximately 12 hours to do, but we were able to recreate this. And make sure to stay tuned, because this isn't the only shocking Huggy scene from Chapter 5 we're going to be making. Now, the first and last time we thought we saw Huggy was in Chapter 1, and it turns out that Brickcraft made a whole entire official set of him from this chapter, but we have to go to Walmart to get him. And here's Huggy Wuggy. It says it's from Poppy Playtime, has 240 pieces, and even says to turn around for a hug, so yeah, that's freaky. Yo, wait a minute, his head is double-sided? I don't have to put on those teeth every time I want to twist his head? Oh, that's awesome. All right, we're gonna open him up. All right, Huggy, see you later, woo! All right, it looks like we have a bag 1, a bag 1, and a bag 2. And I guess all these pipes in his mouth thing. So let's build him. Yo, I'm kind of curious to see what these instructions are like. Yo, that's a freaky picture of him. All right, let's get started. All right, so the first thing we have to build is the body. We're gonna open up the first bag. All right, we're gonna dump this one too. All right, and this looks to be the base of Huggy. So the next thing we're gonna do is clip in these pieces, and I'll leave an affiliate link to buy these, by the way. You know, if it ends up being good. All right, we're gonna put this here and this here. We're gonna do this here, put on this piece, and this piece. Awesome. All right, next we're gonna clip on this, and this. All right, let's keep going. All right, and I think we're doing the same thing for the other side. We're gonna zoom in a little more, because these are tiny pieces. All right, and we're gonna do the same dealio with this. All right, I think it's interesting how they're making it red, because it's like actual guts. Flip in this and do the other side. All right, so he is literally gonna be the same on both sides, which is gonna be interesting because you could look at him from either side and he'll look like Huggy Wuggy, and it won't look like the back side of Huggy Wuggy. This in, boom. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is this and this. Okay, that's looking pretty epic. This should go right over here. All right, sweet. Okay, this torso is freaking awesome. Now it's time to take all these parts and build, I guess, what are supposed to end up being the hands. All right, let's attempt that. Oh, this is a foot. What the foot? All right, we're gonna add toes now. I never built Lego toes before, I don't think. Oh, sweet. All right, we're gonna build the other one and then do the legs. Sweet, we have feet. All right, now the next thing I have to do is assemble the legs. Sweet. All right, plug this into this foot and plug this into this foot. All right, we're gonna plug in this and plug in this. All right, we're putting that there. And I guess next I have to do the arms, but I might have made him too tall, I don't know. All right, let's do hand number 1. All right, so I guess this is supposed to be the hand. Oh yeah, that's his thumb. Oh, that's so cute. All right, so we need a total of 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, that's a pretty big thumbs up. All right, time to do the next hand. Okay, sweet. All right, now we just have to plug in the arms. All right, so we have the headless torso. Now it's time to open bag number 2. This one should have the eyes in it, and we should be able to build the entire head. Ah, I see. Oh yeah, and we also have the little rubber mouth that comes in this bag. This build's actually surprisingly simple so far, and it uses cool pieces like this one I've never seen before. All right, so I'm assuming this is like the neck connection point type thing. I've never seen one of these double-sided before. That would be so useful, the double-stacked ones. Now we got this, and we got this. Bada Bing. Now we're gonna do the other side. Bop, pow. Oh, sweet, okay. All right, now we're gonna do the face, and I guess this is where we're setting the groundwork for those like scary looking mouths. All right, we're gonna add a clip here, and I guess we're gonna do another one that's going to have one of these. Okay, and we're going to snap that on in to here, and then we're gonna check out the other side. We got this and this. We're gonna do a bit of this and this. Awesome. This, this. Then we're gonna do it again. Okay, neat. All right, put this here. All right, cool. We have these two. This here and this here. Sweet. So we're gonna put this over here on this side, and we're gonna put this over here on this side. Awesome. Oh, and you guys know what we have to do now? We have to connect the mouth. Oh, that's a Huggy Wuggy shape. Yes. Oh, that's so wuggalicious. I just invented that. And now we gotta plug in his eyes. Click, 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 and click. And then to make the teeth, the first thing I have to do is center the mouth. And we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this. Okay, sweet. Look at that. All right, now we just gotta plug in the teeth, and they're actually not as bad as I thought. It seems like this is cooperating pretty well. Sweet, okay, cool. All right, we're gonna put this here, and this one's gonna go over here. And then the other one, I guess, is just gonna be like a lot simpler than that. Oh, yo, look at this boy. All right, now we just have to snap on the head. Yo, look, here's a common friendly Huggy Wuggy, and here's the murderous one. Ah. Yo, he looks like something the real Playtime Co. would actually make as a toy that they sold. I mean, not this version, obviously. Children wouldn't like that. That would be a little violent. All right, he looks pretty epic. Anyway, let's make the next part of Huggy Wuggy's life. Now, what's funny is we all thought Huggy died in Chapter 1, when in the game you knock this box on him, but apparently not, because we see him at the very end of Chapter 4 alive and somewhat well. Which is why Chapter 5 started with another Huggy vent chase scene, and we're gonna do that in Lego, but with a simpler Huggy model than this one. So I went back into Blender and began assembling this much more damaged looking Huggy, because you know. I also digitally assembled a grab pack, because you know the game is in first person. And lastly was the hallway, which I had to do a lot of stuff for, like these pipes and grills and buttons. Then it was just a matter of rigging the animations, adding sound effects. Oh yeah, and we're also gonna do that elevator scene. And here was my recreation. Oh my gosh, no! Okay, I think I got it landed. I think we're good. Oh my goodness! Well, hey, at least he has his grab pack. No, his grab pack! But you know, Huggy had a partner made for him named Kissy Missy. And up until Chapter 5, they never officially interacted. So I needed to make her, and lucky for me, Brickcraft also made one that was at Walmart. Why is that over there? Anyways, we brought her back home. Boom, we got her. And this set also is exclusive to Comic-Con? It's at my freaking Walmart. It says turn around for a kiss. Okay. They keep doing that to me. It's literally the exact same thing as Huggy, just in pink with the blue bow. It's literally the same thing. All right, fine, Huggy, I'll open her. We're just gonna, got him. All right, Kissy Missy, you know where you're going? Yeet. All right. So here's the Kissy instructions and here's the Huggy instructions. It's literally the same model with eyebrows. What the heck? All right, we're gonna open this one and this one. All right, this is bag 1, and this is bag 2, and this is also bag 1. Ironically, I think the head has more parts than the entire body. That's crazy. All right, get out there, come on, boom. And now that we're more experienced, this should go quicker. So let's build this a little faster. We're gonna do the body first. All right, we're gonna add the bow, boom. Okay, now we have most of the body done. All right, now we just gotta wrap up this side and this side. All right, now it's foot time. All right, look, we have feet. Now it's time for legs. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom, okay. All right, let's click these boys in. Ready? We're gonna go click, and we're gonna go click. Bada boom. All right, let's click this boy in. 1, 2, 3. All right, we got arms. We clip those in, and now we just gotta build out the hands. All right, we're getting closer to kissing. All right, we have 2 big thumbs up. All right, we just gotta adjust her hands. So we got 1 thumb here, and we got 1 stub here. All right, awesome. You know what's crazy is Kissy Missy has even more time in the game than Huggy Wuggy. Like she's, I'm pretty sure, literally in chapters like 3, 4, and 5. Well, Huggy's just in 2 and at the very end of 4. I'm pretty sure, you could correct me in the comments. But now we're gonna open up bag 2, rip, and we're gonna open up this boy. Oh, sweet. All right, this should be similar to Huggy. In fact, these pieces are literally the exact same color. I think it's just gonna be legit like the pink swap. It's like a Barbie movie. All right, anyway, let's keep building. All right, so we have 1 completed side. Now we're gonna do the other one, but that one's not fully completed. All right, we'll find it later. Until then, let's do the mouth. Awesome, okay. We're gonna add this here, this here, this here, and this here. All right, now we're gonna add the eyebrows. This is the first time I've done something a little different. So eyebrows go here, and there's like left and right eyebrow. And we just do the rest of them like we normally would. Awesome, boom, sweet. All right, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this, bada bing, bada bow. And then we're gonna do this. And then we're gonna snap that on. Oh, it's like a heart shape. Oh, that's so cute. Okay, cool. We have the eyes in, and then we're gonna do the eyes in over here on the other side. And then first we're gonna do the friendly mouth that, you know, doesn't require teeth. Yeah, okay, that's a little too friendly there, pal. Okay, sweet, there he is. All right, now we have to do the angry one. Well, now it's kind of like not angry. Oh wait, we have to do it this way because he has to have the little like lip in his mouth. Okay, cool. All right, now we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this, this, and then she has this middle tooth thing going on. Then we're gonna need 2 over here. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. But you know who we need to put her with? Huggy Wuggy. Aw, they're so cute together. Aw. Oh, look, it's Kissy Missy, and he's giving her a hug. The scary faces on the back is not helping with this. Aw, they're so cute. It would be a real shame if someone tried to ruin this level of happiness. Now, at the end of chapter 5, they were finally both reunited, and I wanted to animate that scene in Lego. So I built her up, put her with Huggy, then built out this whole scene, and now I could recreate their reunion. This was actually so sad. But the nice thing is they were literally made for each other and died with each other. This is my table covered in Lego bricks. And today I'm challenging myself to build more of the iconic characters from Playtime Co. and Lego. And I'm gonna build the factory with each level and have a new character for each different chapter of the game, all the way to the prototype. So stay tuned, because by the end of this video, I'm gonna need a hug. Anyways, Lego. Now the first character I need to build isn't actually a character, it's you, the player, which is also the first character technically introduced in the games, and we're gonna build him with his grab pack. Now in the game, you never really fully see the player because you kind of are him, but you always see the grab pack, and you just kind of pretend the yellow figure behind him is basically you. Now I just have to take my pieces and build one. We're gonna dump out all the parts. Awesome. All right, let's get building. All right, and here's our boy, the player. And yeah, bro looks like a player. He has the grab pack on, and the cool thing is you could take off his head, oops, and act like you're in the game Poppy's Playtime. Wait a minute, are we entering the game? Wait a minute, is that who I think it is? Huggy Wuggy? Yeah, this is actually the Brickcraft Huggy Wuggy I got at Walmart, and you can legit twist his head around, and it's just a happy version of him, but then you twist him again, and it's a scary version. He's literally double-sided. You just have to twist the feet and hands. And he's literally gonna munch on you. All right, I'm giving this player build a 10 out of 10. It actually looks pretty great, and it functions pretty well too. Look how posable it is. Now, one of the shocking characters the player saw killed in Poppy Playtime Chapter 4 was Pianosaurus, the most overhyped, underused character in all of Poppy Playtime. And I haven't built one in Lego in a while, so I thought I should do that. All right, let's jump out the parts. And now it's time to build him. And here he is, the Pianosaurus. He's actually really, really cool. He has literally a whole piano torso. Look, I could even play him. I don't know who thought it was a good idea to combine a piano and a dinosaur, but apparently someone at Playtime Co did, and it's honestly kind of sick. It also has so many colors. It has green and blue and purple and orange and yellow and red and blue and blue and blue and all these other colors. Wow, they really like blue. And obviously he's green like most T-Rexes, including the Toy Story T-Rex. Oh, and speaking of T-Rexes, why don't we have him fight one? All right, come in for a big hug. No, let me out of here. I don't want to hug you. Okay, calm down, buddy. No, let me go. All right. I want my mommy. Yo, this guy's kind of awesome. And that's why I put him with the player. So now the player can confront him. Because, you know, in the game, you didn't really get much time with him because Doughy kind of... Yeah. Also, he had a really weird line after he did that.
Now that hit the spot. I haven't eaten in weeks.
All right, here's the player, and we're gonna have him confront the Pianosaurus. Or play him? It's player time. Ow, my hand. All right, we got him. All right, that's the Pianosaurus. I love this build, but we're gonna build a character from the next chapter, chapter 5, and it's the prototype. And don't worry, by the end of this video, we're gonna have them with all of the other characters from chapter 5 and the other chapters. Now, the prototype is the main bad guy of all Poppy Playtime. He killed Catnap, made all the toys, and even killed the play, which maybe we'll try to recreate. But first, I have to build him, so let's do it. All right, and here's our boy, the prototype. I've done prototypes before, but this one is interesting. And it's incredibly fragile. Like, you cannot move this guy next to at all. I mean, I'm scared to kind of even touch him, to be honest. I'm surprised nothing's broken yet. He's not the most accurate. He doesn't have the full-on scissor hands, but like, it's pretty good. He has a little skeleton thing. He has the arms of Huggy, Kissy, and Mommy Longlegs. He has his spider legs, and he has the carcass of Catnap. See, look, it just broke off. Here, watch me try to fix it. It's gonna break, trust. Hopefully it doesn't. Oh, dang it. See, look, this thing fell off. If I go to put this on, another thing's gonna break. Oh, okay, it didn't. That's good. Good job. I'm giving the build an actual, like, 2, because it's just so structurally unsound, and I'm scared to, like, yeah. Me and the prototype have trust issues.
Now, the next character I'm gonna build is Rory Lovecape.
All right, we're almost done. We just gotta clip on the cape. Yo, we got our boy Rory Lovecape. Now, if you haven't seen Buggy Huggy on YouTube, you should subscribe to him because he created this character that I hope shows up, and it's supposed to be Lily's brother. And he has a giant cape, and he tries to, revive her, and he sacrifices a bunch of other characters to do it.
And guarding that tower, a monster.
Yes, that's it.
Burn it again, quick!
But we should probably get Lily. She was popular in chapter 4 until, she, yeah, that. But we have her here in Lego form, and she's gonna match her brother perfectly, if I can get her built. All right, we're just gonna get that in there and try to have her not fall apart in the process. All right, here's her face. Bro, what happened? Oh, that's what happened. We put it on the wrong side. I'm silly. Bro, stand upright. Be an upstanding citizen. Dang it, she just shattered everywhere. What the heck? All right, well, that worked interestingly. Heck yeah! Alright, low-key Rory does kind of look better than the Lily version, but that's just because Lily, has really shattered feet right now. Bro, how are you getting held up? Your leg muscles are so tiny. She was a really fun character who, tried to threaten Kissy Missy and Poppy.
I think she's a little asking whole factory and burn everyone.
And I think we should probably try bringing those two out. We have a Kissy Missy. This isn't the first time I've built her. She's a really tiny torso piece. Curse you, tiny toilet seat. Anyone remember that from Despicable Me?
Ah! Curse you, tiny toilet!
No, just me, okay. But she only has one arm. See, look, and now she can stand better. All right, I give up. I think Huggy will actually do better. If I remember correctly, he did do better. This is the wounded Huggy from chapter 5, before he got stabbed. That was actually the saddest scene in all of Poppy Playtime. I hope he's revived in the next chapter. Anyway, we have his leg here and his other leg here. Awesome. Yo, what a guy. And the last character I need to build is our girl Poppy. That was pretty easy. She's obviously the name of Poppy Playtime, and she's always hanging out with Kissy. Bro, Huggy, are you tired or something? All right, and here they are. We have the prototype, Lily, Huggy, the player, Pianosaurus, Rory, and Kissy. Oh, I couldn't forget Poppy. And these guys are awesome. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna build more characters from Poppy Playtime, so let's do that. Today I'm going to take iconic characters from Poppy Playtime and build them out of my pile of Lego bricks, and along the way recreate their iconic scenes from the game. And the first character I want to make is the prototype. He's the big bad of the entire series and finally appeared in chapter 5. And I want him to be minifig scale. So after dumping out my collection, I brickified my pile. All right, and we have enough for the prototype, so let's start building.
He's stretchy, he's gummy, he's squishy, he's funny. D-O-E-Y. He's silly, he's gooey, he's sticky, he's gluey.
All right, wait a minute. Almost done. No, he looks pretty cool. But wait a minute, I can make him better. So I went to my Disney figure collection and grabbed a Jack Skellington head. Nope, that won't do. There it is. Because, they have a pretty similar face. And we're just gonna take it back, pop it on, and now we have a Jack Skellington prototype. He's sufficiently creepy, has the arms of Mommy Longlegs, Kissy Missy, and Huggy Wuggy, and the skin of Catnap. And conveniently, I have a Huggy and Kissy minifig, which is cool because, wait a minute. Huggy, Kissy, you know what's going on?
And you repay me by bringing in an Earth Saver.
Oh no, Kissy. Now the next character I'm gonna build is our boy Huggy Wuggy. Not like the minifig version, like the actual damaged one from chapter 5. But the first thing I have to do is dump out all the parts.
All right, and here's our boy Huggy Wuggy, or should I call him City Witty, because, you know, he's sitting. Yeah, he's really damaged, and he has these bandages, these bloody spots, and even this chunk coming out of his head. Yo, Huggy, how are you doing? Yo, look, Huggy's holding me. Please don't eat me, Huggy. Okay, I'm gonna run away now.
All right, it's kissy time.
I guess now I know what it's like to get kissed. And the first thing I had to build for Kissy was the torso, then all the other body parts.
It was pretty simple. Half of it was black and half of it was pink, because, you know, in the game, she just got completely charred. Poor Kissy. I actually always liked her, even though, you know, she shakes it too. Anyway, she's very furry, and we're using all these slope pieces for the fur. And then I built out her arm and her legs. She's missing another arm, because, you know. And then I just put in her eyes. One is full of life, and one is a little droopy.
And she looks pretty good. She literally looks like the toys from the game.
It even has the, like, flexibility of, like, a stuffed animal. Her and Huggy can even have this cute bonding and be really cute with each other. Oh, look at them. They could hug and kiss. Look at the little adorable guys. Hopefully the prototype, you know, does it. You know what, we're just gonna ignore that. Now this Poppy's a lot easier, because, you know, she's small. But remember how the prototype, you know, kind of popped their eye out? So this build has that too. All right, so the first thing we have to build is the feet. All right, now that we got that done, it's dress time. All right, so we're gonna build Poppy, and this is gonna be interesting. That's not a promise, but it's probably what's gonna be. All right, now we're gonna do the head, the hair, and the face. Oh yeah, right, she has a torso too. I kind of forgot about that. And legs, oops. Awesome, we have Poppy. Since we have this broken Kissy and broken Poppy, I'm gonna have them both try to escape the prototype. Now there's another character in that whole tea party scene that I want to make, and it's Lily Lovebraid. Now she's really cool because she's basically the main bad guy of the game outside of the prototype, who's like the bad guy of the series. And she has this really cool thing she could do with her hair, where she could literally grab anyone with it. And I want to do that in Lego form. And building her should be pretty simple. So I started off by making her whole torso, and she has this little star at the center of it because she's supposed to be like some type of kindergarten teacher turned, you know, evil pear lady. And then it was doing her head, which also wasn't that hard. The hard part for Lily Lovebraids, of course, is her braids, you know, because she has a giant hair with this little guy in it, and that took me legitimately forever. But here she is. Bro, she's actually evil looking. What the heck? Why is there a hole in her neck? Also, it's low-key kind of weird. If you remove the smile on her face, she literally just looks like she's whistling. All right, enough. Bro, this thing's freaking awesome. You know, she's actually a pretty freaking cool model too. And a great toy. Now the issue is, she's really unstable. I mean, watch this. Bleh. And she also comes with this little koala toy, which is cool. But in order to actually do something with her, I have to build her little inside out. They're those little guys that were running around and eating out of brawn and attacking you where Giblet had to save you. So we're gonna try to get one of those so that way she could grab one with her hair. Isn't that right, Lily? And conveniently, we have the parts for 2 of them. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is this little inside Outimals leg. I don't think these guys have names. I think it's just like random inside Outimal number 1 and 2. So we're just gonna try our best here. All right, we got the torso. We're gonna snap in the arm. Where's the other arm? Get it? Boop. And of course, the head. Sweet. He comes with these little jagged teeth. And we gotta build out the rest of the mouth. All right, and then we're gonna snap in his eyes, and bro looks goofy. I mean, legitimately, these inside Outimals are kinda cursed. But it looks like we still have enough for some more, and even some extra hair that maybe I didn't add on to Lily. Sorry, Lily. Oh no, she's got me.
Oh, you're gonna get it now.
Alright, now these are all the characters we have so far, but we still have to build a couple more from Poppy Playtime Chapter 5. But out of all of these builds so far, I'd say probably the best one is Huggy Wuggy. He looks the most accurate, he's the most battle damage, and Lily just can't stand upright. I'm not even gonna push her over. Today I'm taking all the characters from Poppy Playtime Chapter 6 and recreating them in Lego. So stay tuned, because by the end of this video, we're gonna fill the entire Poppy Playtime factory. Anyways, Lego. Now since Chapter 5 came out, my boy Buggy Huggy already made a sequel to what could happen in Chapter 6 on his YouTube channel, with the sacrifice of Chum Chompkins, revival of Huggy and Kissy, and introduction of Lily's brother Rory Lovecapes. So I decided I should probably build him and all the other characters from this chapter, and then put them into my factory. And since I've already done a lot of the ones like Chum, Huggy, and Kissy, I could start with our boy Rory. So I broke out my Lego pile and my app Brickify, which you could try using my link, and then scanned all my parts, and we have enough to build Rory Lovecapes. Awesome! All right, we have to build. This one. All right, first thing we're doing is building up the torso, this piece. All right, now we built the first leg, and now it's time for the second one. And it comes with black and white tube socks. Click, you have unlocked a second leg. All right, then we have these arm clips, and we're gonna do this, and then we just gotta give him hands. Bro is a little miscolored, I'll be honest, probably because I don't have that many of these parts in my collection. Okay, we're getting closer, we have a body. Now we just gotta install the cape. Which Rory Love cape, why is his cape so small? We'll fix that later. All right, now we're gonna add his little medal and his neck. We have this, and then we gotta put on a mouth. 1, 2, oh, I think that's part of his head. Okay. This guy has some really blue teal hair. We gotta make sure that's on it. I guess this is gonna be some of his hair. And then there's these pieces, and he's got ears. Ugh, bro, his neck is not stable on there. All right, and then we're gonna click this on and click this on. Sweet, there's Rory. Now we just have to build his shield. So we're gonna take this round piece. All right, we're gonna do this. And there's a fully completed Rory Love capes. Well, almost, because this cape is kind of weak. So we gotta go to our collection and see if we have any red slope pieces that'll work well. Or better yet, one of these, yes. Is that too much? No, that should be enough. Because what we could do is have something like this. Oh yeah, and here he is, Rory Love cape. Now, you know who he needs to be with, right? His sister, Lily Love Braids. I really wish we just got to see them together because they are just so adorable. It would be a real shame if, someone just dropped a cloud on one. You okay, bro? Where'd he go? I don't know. All right, fly like the wind, Rory. Or at least into the Poppy Playtime Tower. Oh, and by the end of this video, we're gonna be filling the Poppy Playtime Tower with all the characters. Now for our Rory build, I am going to put him near the roof, because he flies. And there he is, we have him kind of sticking out. He'll do just fine there. And then maybe we should, probably fix Lily up and put her in there too. Okay, I added her too. She's grabbing on with her hair, so they could kind of vibe together. But I also want to add Chum Chompkins. Where are you, Chum? There he is. All right, Chum, me boy. You are going to go up here with the Braid family. Now anyways, let's do our next scan. All right, so we're gonna open it up, scan, pile scan, and do this. All right, we have enough pieces for Killy Willy. Now, Killy Willy's story is pretty crazy because he used to be a silly Billy, and then he just got really cursed and tried to, eat everyone at Playtime Co. And he's basically a cursed version of Huggy Wuggy, who's already cursed. So what if he somehow returned in Chapter 6? All right, let's build this sucker. All right, let's start with Killy Willy's feet. Yo, look at his little footsies. All right, then we're gonna get on a leg, click, 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 and then we're gonna do that again. 1, 2, 3. Oh, we gotta do 2 more and a clip. 4, 5. Killy Willy can't killy if he doesn't have a leg. Bruh, I'm just straight up yapping. I be yapping, that's what I be doing. Now, Killy Willy isn't canon in the games right now, but since Poppy Playtime owns the rights to him, there's a very solid shot they use him, which is why I wouldn't be shocked if he showed up in the Chapter 6. Although he wasn't in Buggy Huggy's short. Yo, he's got a belly button? What? We're gonna click in the leg and the other leg. Now comes the hard part. The arms are always annoying to do. Yo, does he have eyes on his hands? I definitely don't know what these are supposed to be. Maybe they're supposed to be his hands. We got this. And is this a claw?
Yeah, it is. Okay. Oh yeah, because Killy has to like lean forward and be all like arched back. All right, that's arm 1. And here's the other arm. All right, that's looking more like a Killy Willy. Now we got to do his head. It's kind of hard to see all these parts because, you know, they're all in black, but it's okay. We're going to figure it out. And we're going to slide this piece on. And then he has other pieces. What the heck? All right, so we're going to round out this part of the face. And then this part. Oh, yeah, heck yeah. And then we have this brown mouth for Killy Willy. He's got a little thing going on here. And then we just got to cover him in eyeballs. Then we're just gonna attach the neck and add the last eye. And like that, we have a fully functional Killy Willy. All right, look at this bro. Bro, could you imagine him hunting you down? Or even him in minifigure form? Wait a minute, I can. We do have a Killy Willy here in minifig form. And he looks freaking sick. And he has a giant thing that opens up in his tummy. Is that why you have the belly button? Oh. All right, Killy Willy. We're adding you to the top of the tower. But don't worry, you'll have a prototype there soon. Now, the next character I wanted to recreate is Brawn. Because there's a very solid shot that he ends up in Chapter 6. Because we saw him in 5, but he wasn't really doing much. I mean, other than chewing on a grab pack. But we're going to do him a little differently. Because I got this Lego set over here and then brought it to the studio. Now, this is this $10 Red Dragon Lego set, and obviously Brawn's a dinosaur, so we're gonna need to mod him a little bit, but this should basically cover what he looks like, or at least a version of him. All right, so we're just gonna crack-a-lack-a-ding-dong and open it up. Oh, yeet! Then we have the dragon instructions, parrot instruction, and a fish instruction. All right, let's open this up. Wow, that's a lot of part. All right, build time. The base of the dragon kind of looks like Brawn, so we could use most of it, but we're gonna have to add our own modifications. So click. All right, we're gonna stack this, and we're gonna do this. It's funny that this dragon legit has the same color scheme as Brawn. What are the odds of that? All right, I think this is part of the torso. All right, it's belly time. Yeah, that's a belly. We're making progress. All right, now we have this weird contraption. Sweet. All right, now we're gonna put in this piece. Yo, this is sus. Oh, we have 2 sus boys. What kind of dragon dinosaur torso is this? All right, sweet, we have our dragon boy. All right, now we gotta add the bottom of his mouth. Oh, sweet. Now the instructions are giving me option to add the horns, but we're not gonna do that because he's gonna be a dinosaur. So we're just gonna yoink. All right, we're getting closer to a Brawn. That's literally what I'm calling him, Brawnosaurus, not Bruhnosaurus, because then he'd be a big bruh moment. Thigh, and another thigh. Yo, bro's got thunder thighs. And then we gotta build his foot. This should be pretty easy. Easy feetsy lemon squeetsy. Foot 1, foot 2. All right, lastly, we have to build the arms. Clip. Are these nails? All right, and then we're gonna do the other one. Sweet. And then I guess we need to do a bit of a tail. Yeah, okay, that's the tail. Sweet. And then we could just tag this on. And yeah, I'd say that's a pretty good looking Brawn. I mean, he's got these little things in the back of his head, but we could just ignore that. Should I like have him like sitting like a normal dinosaur? No, he's gonna be like this. So cute, you get a 10 out of 10 Brawn. And we're just gonna put him over here for now. And now we're gonna scan our next character. Now the next character we're doing is Miss Delight, or Sister Delight. She was one of the scariest characters from all of Poppy Playtime, and I really hope to see a version of her in the Chapter 6. So we're just gonna open up the app, go to the pile scanner, and then scan our pile. And now we're scanning. There we go. All right, let's get cracking. Now the thing that we gotta start with Miss Delight is her feet. All right, we have this leg and this leg, but she had a dress on. So we're gonna be recreating that using these sloped grills. That's what these pieces are called. All right, and we're gonna snap on this and snap on this, and then connect it to this hinge plate. Then we got this stud hopper piece. We can flip it, then put this and this inboard, and then we can clip here and clip here. And then it's just a matter of clipping in the stomach, the arms, and building the head.
Then we gotta build up her head, which also includes her teeth. Yo, and her gums. Ew, that's kind of gross. I guess I don't have a choice. Then we just have the eyes, click, click, and the bald spot with this part on the back. Now we just gotta build Miss Delight's weapon. Maybe this is Sis Delight. I think that's what I'm calling this. This is gonna be Sis Delight. All right, so we got this, and we're gonna put in the blue spikies. I think these are crayons, right? We're gonna put a green one, boom. Yo, this kind of low-key looks like He-Man. I don't know, I'll give the build a solid like 7 or 8. And I am gonna put her right over here. Sweet. This is how to build Ollie from Poppy Playtime in Lego. You're going to take a 2x4 and add this piece to the top, then connect it with red and yellow pieces, and fill in that empty back area. Then you're going to add the bottom of the phone as well as 4 buttons. All right, now we're adding the stud hopper piece, these 2 studs for eyes, a mouth, and 2 more eyes. Oh yeah, and an antenna. And now we have a fully functional Ollie, who I hope comes back because it can't be that hard to repair, right? All right, and we're gonna put Ollie right over here. This is getting more full. Now the next little guys we're gonna build are the Nightmare Critters. They're a nightmare version of the Smiling Critters, and they're super freaky. I feel like each chapter of Poppy Playtime has something like these, even with the wrong side animals. But now we gotta build them. All right, so the first one we're gonna do is red, literally. All right, we're gonna give him some toesies, bada boop, bada bop. Then we're gonna snap on a body piece with this fully rounded brick. Then we're just gonna slap on the rest, slap on one of these, slap on one of these, and boom. All right, now all we have to do is a mouth, eyes, and the rest of the head. All right, we're gonna snack this on, then these little horns. Oh, that's a devious looking smiling critter, or nightmare critter rather. And then we're just gonna tag these wings on him. All right, that's one done. Next is the purple one. We're gonna start with the legs. All right, let's assemble. Gotta add in the eyes. All right, so the other one looked like a devil. This one kind of looks like a bat. I don't know, I'll give it like a 6. We'll put it with our devil critter. All right, now we have the last one. Oh, sweet, look at this dude. He's cute. I don't know what he's supposed to look like, but I'll give him a 6. But guess what? We have more, because they come in green, pink, and yellow. The yellow one looks coolest though. We're definitely doing yellow first. Bro's gonna look like a bumblebee, who's also my favorite Transformer other than Optimus, which by the way is a totally obvious pick. I'm not trying to be special. Sweet, he gets like a 7. I'm putting him over here. Pretty basic. Let's do the pink one. All right, she's got these like dark pink booties. All right, those are studs again. We got this, then we got this, we got this, bada boop, bada bop. Click, click. Oh, cute, this one's like a pink bat. The other one was like a purple bat. 8 out of 10, might be the best one so far. The next one we have is green. All right, this is a lot of green. It's gonna be Nightmare the Frog. That's what I'm gonna name him. He will be Nightmare the Frog. We got reptile guy, maybe the smiling critter, and that brings us closer. I think we still have some more though. Hey look, there are more parts here. How'd that happen? That's crazy. Which is why we're gonna build the next character. Yo, this one's gonna be low-key looking like a raccoon. Yeah, I don't even know what this is attempting to be, but we're gonna put it over here, 7 out of 10. Then we have this blue boy. All right, we're gonna snap in the arms, get a little detail going over here. Snap on the head, flip it around, snap on one of these. Yo, look at this, bro. He looks like a Pokemon. 7 out of 10. We're putting him over here. Bro, look at the squad. What the heck? All right, now the last character we have to build is Baba Chops, who is also in chapter 4 and also dramatically underfeatured. And now we're gonna build him. She leads the Nightmare Critters, so like this is perfect. All right, we're gonna clip this in. Oh, yo, Baba Chops got that chopped skeleton look. Whoa. Okay, awesome. All right, now we gotta texture out Baba. I don't like the name, honestly. Like, I get the chops with the animal thing, but it just isn't doing it for me. We're gonna clip this in, and clip this in. All right, now we just gotta add the mouth. Yo, look at this guy. Yo, we got Baba. Bro, stand upright. This is so stupid. The way they built him, he like falls forward. All right, awesome. Now we gotta put them in the tower. So we're gonna put Baba here. No, not Gilly Willy. Oh, no Baba Chops. Why? All right, well, we could at least scatter the nightmare critters. We're just gonna scatter them up here. We're gonna put this little guy over here. No! You know, we should really get railings. We're gonna scatter these two in here. This one's gonna stand on a stud, so he's not going anywhere. Same with this one. Sweet. Here, you're going on stud too. And then we're putting this one here and this one here. Poppy Playtime Chapter 4 is finally out. And today I'm going to build all the new characters from Poppy Playtime Chapter 4 in Lego. Anyways, Lego! Now this chapter introduced us to loads of new characters. And I think we should start with the main bad guy, the Doctor. And I'm gonna start with this bag, which will have the parts that will be useful for him. The first thing we have is this torso with legs. I'll also make sure to pop in the arms and the hands. Now he's pretty cool looking. I'm going to take off this black head. He's also pretty well dressed, might I add. And the big thing to notice about him is that he's not actually dressed like the main character, the Doctor. And he even comes with this toilet plunger. And that's because it's actually the TV man. These guys are from Skibidi Toilet, and they made minifigures of them a while ago, and they even gave him these giant guns. I'm coming after you, toilet. Anyway, I don't intend on him keeping this torso, but I do want to keep the head, so we're gonna take that. Because the Doctor, you'll notice, has a pretty TV-shaped head. Now the next thing I want to do is take this Five Nights at Freddy's character. Now he has this pretty robotic look and feel to him, as does the Doctor, and I thought this was the perfect torso, and all I'd have to do is actually take off the head. But before I could actually add the TV head, there's one more thing that he needs. He has a very, very prominent cape that he wears in the game, and the best thing I could find comparable to it is in this spooky ghost minifigure from one of the old collectible minifigure series. So I'll just take off his head, his hood, and boom, we have this awesome cloak that we could drape down the front of him. And it basically covers his whole body. I tried doing it this way, but it just doesn't look as accurate. But now we can attach this piece and then this one. And like that, we have a pretty accurate minifigure version of the Doctor. And the only thing left we need to do is maybe animate a little eye on there, make the background a little dark, slowly zoom in as he comes to take your soul. Nah, I'm just kidding. But we need to build one of his major creations and one of the main characters in this whole chapter. And that's Yarnaby. He's a little toy dog that has this really scary feature where he opens up his face hole and there's a bunch of teeth. It scared the crud out of me. And lucky for me, I have the pieces for Yarnaby. This is a dumb amount of pieces. I can't believe how many there are. Anyway, we gotta try and build this guy. Now I'm gonna speed round the second half of him. All right, let's connect these parts. All right, time to put on the feet. Poppy, does he look like a good boy so far? Yeah, I know he's missing a head. Okay, we're gonna finish the head. All right, now we just gotta build up each side of his head. Now the next character I want to build is the terrifying Pianosaurus. Yeah, they made a whole toy trailer for him. He's a really fun looking toy, but a less fun character. And he was only in the game for like 10 seconds. Anyway, we gotta build him. Now for the Pianosaurus, we have the green parts and, you know, all the other parts that he's gonna need. That's a lot of Lego. Anyway, we gotta get building. All right, time to connect the tail. All right, and now I just have to attach on the Pianosaurus's neck. There we go. He's gotta like touch his toes or something, but he's kind of there. Yo, that's a pretty Jurassically cool design. Yo, the Pianosaurus is actually really, really cool. His head looks like a piano. He has these really colorful fingers. And I think one of the palms of his hands is a watermelon. Oh, and also did I mention his entire underside is like a piano? How is that even possible? Now there's only one person who could actually defeat the Pianosaurus. And that is Doughy the Dough Man. And we're finally gonna build him. So anyway, let's go. All right, so there are a lot of pieces here, but probably the most iconic is his bowler hat. This is a big hat a lot of people wore way back in the day. You remember, right, Walter? Yeah, I used to have a bowler's hat with Fred Flintstone. Was Pianosaurus around? What is a Pianosaurus? Walter? All right, we gotta build Doughy the Doughboy. All right, the first thing I gotta do is build the main frame of his body. All right, now we got a base with some feet going on. There's some fun looking feet. Now we just gotta texture him out, make sure he looks like a little bit of a clay boy. We're gonna start with this little addition, and it's gonna be a lot more little ones like that. All right, we're gonna keep building this sucker out. I think we're like a brick short or something. I figured out the problem. We were missing one of these 1x6s. We just tag that in, and we tag this in. And like that, we have a textured out body. Now we just gotta do the flip side. Now we just gotta add a little bit of this area next to his chest, and it's gonna be pretty freaking simple. All right, now we gotta do the arms. And this first arm is going to have a lot of yellow pieces. Wow, that's a very clay-like hand. We'll attach that over here. All right, time for the next arm. This one's gonna be pretty simple. And this one's also going to be orange. Sweet, and now Doughy the Dough Man is very like Play-Doughified. This looks like when I would like take all the different colors and mush them together. Now the main last thing I have to build for him is his head, and it should be pretty simple. Starting with a bit of a miscolored neck, and we're gonna stack it up, and then we're gonna detail out a face. We're gonna slowly make him look like Princess Leia with the little buns on the side of the head. Boop. All right, he's rounding out pretty nicely. Now we just gotta give him a little face, some eyes, and a mouth. And the last thing we need is his hat, but I can't seem to find it with the leftover pieces. Walter, you can't keep that hat. But it reminds me of my childhood. All right, well, he's dead. Anyway, we got the hat. My head. Now, the design for Doughy actually turned out to be pretty simple. I actually had these all made so you could buy the designs on my Rebrickable site, so if you want to buy it, I'll leave a link in the description. Anyways, I think we still have a Pianosaurus to take care of. Hey, he's looking pretty comfortable. Hey, how you doing there, pal? I'm doing good. Oh, wow. Doughy does not know how to keep his head on straight. We're gonna fix him. You know, dough him back together instead of sew him, get it? Dough him. All right, it looks like the Pianosaurus problem is solved. He's a little, dead. All right, we're gonna move him off to the side because the next character we have to build is Huggy Wuggy. Yeah, that's right, we're still doing Huggy Wuggy, even though he was only in this chapter towards the end. But Huggy's back, and this time he's a little more wounded than he has been in the past, with some tape and other fixes because he looks broken or something. Anyway, let's get to building. I started snapping together the legs, the feet, the hands, and then came time to attach the head. The head build itself was a little different, and it had all these weird teeth, and of course Huggy Wuggy's scary and iconic lip. And now we have an almost completely built Huggy Wuggy, and like that, we have the iconic Huggy Wuggy. You doing good there, pal? He's definitely a lot taller than the other characters, especially Doughy the Doughboy. Honestly, he looks like he could be like Doughy the Doughboy's like father. Come here, son. Don't mess with those other mean kids across the street. Like who, Daddy? That one. Okay, Daddy. Now, I know that's not how he talks. But there's still one more character I want to build who is a main character for a long time, and I kind of missed this chapter. And it's Catnap. Now, Catnap was certainly one of the most horrifying characters from all of Poppy's Playtime. And in my last video, I actually had a Huggy Wuggy version of a Catnap, and I wasn't too sure what it was, but you guys made sure to correct me in the comments. Anyways, I want to do an actual build of one. So I got to work and started snapping together some of these awesome purple bricks, and put together one of the most intricate tails I've ever seen on a Lego. Then we put together the body, put on the head with the ears, and of course the eyes. Oh, and did I mention the really gross looking hands? And lastly, this little collar to symbolize the moon. This is Doughy the Dough Man from Poppy Playtime Chapter 4. And this is him as a Lego. And today I'm going to be recreating all the characters from Chapter 4, starting with the Pianosaurus all the way to the final version of Doughy before... You know, we'll save that for later. Anyways, Lego. The newest chapter of Poppy Playtime had a load of new characters and even some old ones. Now, the first character I wanted to build was the very first version of Doughy. Yeah, the one who killed Pianosaurus. So anyway, let's go. All right, so there are a lot of pieces here, but probably the most iconic is his bowler hat. This is a big hat a lot of people wore way back in the day. You remember, right, Walter? Yeah, I used to have a bowler's hat with Fred Flintstone. Was Pianosaurus around? What is a Pianosaurus? Now we're going to use him to take out the Pianosaurus, but first I have to build it. Now for the Pianosaurus, we have the green parts and, you know, all the other parts that he's gonna need. That's a lot of Lego. Anyway, we gotta get building. All right, time to connect the tail. All right, and now I just have to attach on the Pianosaurus's neck. There we go. He's gotta like touch his toes or something, but he's kind of there. Yo, that's a pretty Jurassically cool design. Yo, the Pianosaurus is actually really, really cool. His head looks like a piano. He has these really colorful fingers. And I think one of the palms of his hands is a watermelon. Oh, and also did I mention his entire underside is like a piano? How is that even possible? Now that he's done, I think Doey has something to say to him. Well, hey, how you doing there, pal? I'm doing good. Oh, wow. Doey does not know how to keep his head on straight. We're gonna fix him. You know, dough him back together. Instead of sew him, get it? Dough him. All right, it looks like the Pianosaurus problem is solved. He's a little, dead. All right, we're gonna move him off to the side. Here's the next thing we have to build is the monstrous version of Doey. First, we have this original Doey build, and in the game, he started to get really upset and was eventually crushed by some really ugly bricks. But when he was crushed, then he formed in this giant crazy monster that I still have to build. Yo, that's scary. All right, we gotta run. I gotta get out of here. Ah! All right, the first thing we gotta try is this drill. Maybe that'll stop him. All right, that didn't work. Try hitting him again. Oh, wait, I have an idea. I need a giant screwdriver. That'll work. Yeah, no, he's definitely dead. And Blocky got his hat. But there's still a couple more characters we have to build, including the Doctor. He kind of orchestrated a lot of this madness. And I'm gonna start with this bag, which will have the parts that will be useful for him. The first thing we have is this torso with legs. I'll also make sure to pop in the arms and the hands. Now he's pretty cool looking. I'm going to take off this black head. He's also pretty well dressed, might I add. And the big thing to notice about him is that he's not actually dressed like the main character, the Doctor. And he even comes with this toilet plunger. And that's because it's actually the TV man. These guys are from Skibidi Toilet, and they made minifigures of them a while ago, and they even gave him these giant guns. I'm coming after you, toilet. Anyway, I don't intend on him keeping this torso, but I do want to keep the head, so we're gonna take that. Because the Doctor, you'll notice, has a pretty TV-shaped head. Now the next thing I want to do is take this Five Nights at Freddy's character. Now he has this pretty robotic look and feel to him, as does the Doctor, and I thought this was the perfect torso, and all I'd have to do is actually take off the head. But before I could actually add the TV head, there's one more thing that he needs. He has a very, very prominent cape that he wears in the game, and the best thing I could find comparable to it is in this spooky ghost minifigure from one of the old collectible minifigure series. So I'll just take off his head, his hood, and boom, we have this awesome cloak that we could drape down the front of him. And it basically covers his whole body. I tried doing it this way, but it just doesn't look as accurate. But now we can attach this piece and then this one. And like that, we have a pretty accurate minifigure version of the Doctor. And the only thing left we need to do is maybe animate a little eye on there, make the background a little dark, slowly zoom in as he comes to take your soul. Nah, I'm just kidding. But we need to build one of his major creations and one of the main characters in this whole chapter. And that's Yarnaby. He's a little toy dog that has this really scary feature where he opens up his face hole and there's a bunch of teeth. It scared the crud out of me. And lucky for me, I have the pieces for Yarnaby. This is a dumb amount of pieces. I can't believe how many there are. Anyway, we gotta try and build this guy. Now I'm gonna speed round the second half of him. All right, let's connect these parts. All right, time to put on the feet. Poppy, does he look like a good boy so far? Yeah, I know he's missing a head. Okay, We're gonna finish the head. All right, now we just gotta build up each side of his head. Those are all the new characters from Chapter 4, but I still want to build all the characters from different chapters, like Mommy Longlegs, Dog Day Catnap, and so many more.
His name is Huggy. Huggy Wuggy, when he hugs you, he'll never stop.
This is Huggy Wuggy from the first game, and I got started by building all of his legs, then I attached his feet as well as his arms and then his hands. He's a pretty simplistic body, but he's very lanky. And the builds are overall pretty simple. It's very repetitive because it's a lot of the same things over and over again. And as I was building the head, something weird that I had to add was obviously the teeth. And without the lips, the teeth just look so weird. Like, bro, what is going on? Once I put the lips on, he actually started to look much better and less cursed. And he could even spin his head around. That's not scary at all. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be anywhere near this thing. Hey, how'd you get here? Yeah, no, he looks pretty cool, but I definitely still don't want him giving me a hug, because apparently that's how he's supposed to kill me, so yeah. Not great. This is the prototype, and this is my Lego build of him. And today I'm gonna build every single Poppy Playtime Chapter 5 character in Lego, as well as some that might be in Chapter 6. So stay tuned, because by the end of this video, we're going all the way to the basement of Playtime Co. and putting the most cursed monsters there. Anyways, Lego. Now before I could build the prototype, I had to dump out all my Lego parts and download the Brickify app, because I'm gonna use it to scan all my parts and see if I could sort them all out and have enough to build it. And it looks like I do. So let's get cracking. All right, now that we have the parts scanned, let's build the base. We need to make connection points for the legs. So we're gonna do this. All right, we need one of these. Boom. All right, we're gonna attach this to this base. This is where the fun begins. Oh, and by the way, huge shout out to Brickfolk for the designs. I have to put all these in here. All right, now we gotta build its guts. This piece, we need 4 of these, and some of these, and some of these. All right, now it's time for the rib cage. I don't know why I said it like that. All right, now time to add the actual ribs. Oh, bruh, it sounds like I said Oprah. You get a rib, you get a rib, you get a rib. For those who don't know, Oprah gave out cars, not ribs. All right, we're locking this back in. All right, now we just gotta finish off the body. All right, now we're adding the catnap back. Oh yeah, I guess this is the front side of him. All right, these are where the hands are gonna go. All right, now we're gonna add all these stud hopper round pieces, and then we're gonna do these. Boop, click, pop. All right, it's cat skin time. Yo, okay, now he's starting to look like a thing. Well, not on this side, but don't worry, it'll get there too. All right, we're adding his little light. All right, and we're adding another 2 of these bad Larrys. Okay, this is sick. Now we gotta add those extra arms. And the first one we're doing is Kissy Missy. Here's her hand, and here's her thumb. Wait a minute, is this the head? Oh, I feel dumb. All right, let's wrap up the head. We're so close. All right, last hat, or whatever these are called. All right, now you have this eye and this eye hole, and then the mouth. I'm iffy about the face. It's neck time. Yeet. All right, we're getting close. Okay, and here's our boy, the prototype. Yeah, I mean, look at this guy. He looks great. The issue is the legs. Unless you have those little clear pieces, they just don't work, and he just collapses in on himself like a dying prototype. I could totally see him killing the player. Wait, what? Hey, what's going on? Well, friend, did you subscribe? No, I didn't. You should subscribe. No, he's not joking. Do it now. All right, but now that we built the prototype, we have to put him at the bottom of the factory. And this is gonna be difficult just because the bottom of the factory is like right here. So what if we tried putting him at the top for a little bit? All right, let's go all the way upstairs. Oh, yo, it's the prototype. Now this is Lily Lovebraids. She was one of the main bad guys from chapter 5, and she had this crazy hair that could eat you, and these tea parties that had all these little toys. Oh yeah, and the prototype. And now we have to build her. Alright, let's open up the Brickify app, and then we're just gonna go to the pile scanner, and we're gonna scan the pile. Now this thing is really fast. I mean, look at this. Whoa, that's crazy. Alright, let's see what we have enough pieces for. Apparently a mini Huggy. 6, 7, no, we need Lily. Oh, these puppets. We got it. Alright, let's build. Alright, so we're gonna start with the legs, the boot, and one of these. Alright, we got the legs, now we gotta do the shoes, and these should be pretty easy. Alright, we're gonna add this skirt piece, and then a front one. Alright, now we have the torso, the arm, the other arm. Bruh. Alright, now we gotta do the head and the face. She's bald! 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 Alright, let's fix that. Sweet. Alright, it's eye time. And ear. Bro, what are these ears? She looks like a monkey. Why can't you stay on? This thing has like a conniption trying to stay onto the body. What the hey? Oh yeah, and we get to add her hair curl. Alright, now it's hair time. Braid 1, braid 2, braid 3. Alright, and this last one should be interesting. Alright, we have to build this little guy. I don't know what he is. Oh, this is awesome. And here Lily is. Oh, she looks great. She has the arms, the face, this little guy over here who looks like a panda. Hey, maybe that is a panda, what the heck? She's super smiley, I love her. This build of Lily's okay, I'll give it a solid 6. I think my minifigure with the braid is better. We're gonna put her right into the tower. And you know what? She could go like right over here. Oh no. You know, maybe I should just drop a cloud on her now. All right, next we're going to build Lily's puppets that were with her when the prototype came in. We're gonna scan them and whoa, that was fast. Oh sweet, it looks like we have enough parts for them. Wow, those are interesting. Look at that. I don't even know what these guys' names are. All right, we have the yellow one done. Then we have to do the pink one. All right, we're gonna do this. Aw, that's kind of cute. All right, last one. All right, we gotta just do the rest of the hair. I wonder who styled it. And here's the face. Aw, they're actually kind of cute. Anyways, let's put these with Lily. I guess we could put one up here, and over here. Awesome. Now, at the end of Poppy Playtime Chapter 5, we saw the Doctor, which means he's probably going to be a big player in Chapter 6. And I'm hoping that he gets to re-inhabit one of those mech suits that he was in Chapter 4, which is why I'm going to build it. First, we're going to dump out all the parts for him. This should be enough, right? All right, let's dump out all the parts, and then I broke out the Brickify app again, and now we're going for a scan. Whoa, there's like 227 parts here. What the heck? Wow, that was quick. All right, and it looks like we should have enough to build. Now, the first thing I have to build is the base. And there's this little area over here for the wires, because, you know, the Doctor's suit to operate, he needs to be kind of plugged in. Then we kind of just connect him like this, bada boom. And I got to work on the body. I totally didn't just forget to press record. The black looks really rough in the lighting. Okay, we're getting closer. Yo, those are really tiny arms. What the heck? All right, now it's time to build the head. Just snap in one of these and the eye, and then we're just gonna snap in this and box him in to look like an actual TV. Awesome. We just gotta lock it in. Yo. Okay, this guy also is known for like kind of having a cape, so I kind of gave him a cape. All right, let's clip in these arms. We got one over here, one over here. Now we just have to do the legs. Click, click. Bada bick. All right, then we have a leg here and a leg here. Okay, awesome. Now we just got to connect him to the base. Oh, this version of the Doctor is awesome. He could definitely take on the prototype. Now in Chapter 4, these guys were straight up scary, so we got to put him on level 4. All right, we're just going to take this off, And then we're gonna put on our boy, Mr. Doctor. Well, actually not. We're probably gonna have to put him over here because he's too tall. All right, you just stay there for now. Don't worry, we'll fill this with another person from chapter 4. Oh, and if you wanna get the Brickify app, here's a QR code. You can scan it and download it right now for 3 free days. Now, one of the things I love about Poppy Playtime is how there's a Huggy Wuggy and Kissy Missy literally made for each other. But I was thinking, why doesn't Doughy the Dough Man have that? Well, apparently someone else thought that too, because there's a whole Dolly the Dough Girl fan club that exists for a character that isn't even in the game yet, because I think she's gonna be in chapter 6. And we're gonna build her. All right, so we're just gonna open up the app, open up the pile scanner, and low-key just scan the pile. Let's see how long this takes. Oh wow, that's quick. Yo! Oh, we have enough pieces for Dolly. And there's her eye. Okay. All right, let's build Lily. We're gonna start with her torso. Can't find these leg pieces they want her to have. I hope it's not these and they didn't get scan the wrong ones. All right, so we're slowly making progress on the body. This is interesting. Okay. All right, so we're adding these little blue splotches and red splotches, and this red splotch is gonna be like this. These are like the hands of like the kids that Doughy absorbed. But since this isn't Doughy, since this is Dolly, I don't know if she also absorbed kids. Yo, it's another hand. This is high-key confusing. Question, if you guys were a Doughy the Dough Man, would you absorb a child? Or did Doughy even have a choice? I don't even know. I mean, I guess he did eat his own mom. But hey, at least he said he was sorry.
Oh, God.
All right, we're slowly rounding out our boy. And something I'm noticing is it's getting a little easier as it goes on. This is a much easier build than the Doctor. Oh, yo, this is sick. All right, and now we have our first arm. I'm just gonna attach these as legs for now. And now we just gotta do our second arm. Comes in red. Okay, awesome. All right, now it's time to just do the head. All right, now it's just these little head pieces. Wow, this head is really detailed, and I love this little bow. It's so cute. Oh, yo, no way. She also comes with dough cheeks. I mean, she's got to look a little doughy. She's a dough girl after all. All right, so we got this one, and this one. And we even those all out, add her eyes, and attach it to the body. And yo, we have a complete Doughy the Dough Girl. This might be our first actual 10 out of 10 build. I love it, but you know, she's kind of lonely looking right now. You know who we need to make?
Doughy the Dough Man!
He's stretch you, he's gum you, he's squish you, he's fun you.
Oh yeah, but first we need to put her somewhere. Yeah, she's gonna go. Her bow is annoying. It doesn't like let her stand on the platform. All right, we're gonna lower this and put her in here. Yeah, that'll hold for now. That's fine. This is fine. This is good because we're slowly going up to the top with the prototype. All right, let's open the app. So we're just gonna scan him. Boop. Let's do this. Whoa, that's pretty quick. All right, let's do our boy Doughy. There he is. Ah, Doughy the Dough Man. All right, the first thing we're gonna do is the feet, and then it's time for the body. Bro, Doughy the Dough Man kind of reminds me of me, because, you know, I haven't been to the gym as much as I should be. My editors are gonna roast me for that one. Sorry, Benji. Benji, do your worst.
You might not like it, but this is what the peak male athletic form looks like.
All right, now we're doing the one yellow hand here, then he's also orange, red, and blue. Bro is literally all colors of the rainbow. All right, we're doing the hands again, but his are obviously different colored. All right, we got his body, but these hands are like low-key a little small. So we gotta work on that, and we're gonna build out his neck. Well, his shoulders. Put your dough on my shoulders. Comment below if you know that song. All right, and then we're gonna round out his belly, because he's looking a little cubular right now. All right, now it's head time. Bro, he also comes with cheeks. What the heck? Bro, he's a cheeked up Doughy. It's not like we saw one of those earlier. All right, there we go. We got Doughy's head, legs, and his chunky dough boy. Now we're hitting arms. Oh, I know which side this is going on. Sweet. We got that too. Okay, we completed Doughy the Dough Man. Yo, he looks sick. Yo, I just realized we're missing one part, and it's this one for his bowler hat. Yeah, that hat is called a bowler hat. I don't know if Doughy bowls, but you know, he's round enough to. All right, now I'm just gonna have him eat his mother. Wait, what? Nah, just kidding. We're gonna put him next to his long-lost love. We have Doughy the Dough Man and Dolly the Dough Girl right here. Oh, they're so cute together. And then we obviously have the Doctor, Lily, the prototype. Now, the next character we're gonna build is this guy, Braun. He's a character that appeared in many different like sizes in Poppy Playtime, and then just kind of disappeared until we saw him in Chapter 5, where these nightmare inside animals were just eating at his guts, and he had a whole grab pack in his mouth. I don't know if this is the actual guy or what the deal is, but we're gonna build him. All right, let's open up the app again. We're gonna go to the pile scanner and scan it. Boom. All right, let's see what dinosaurs come out. All right, and there he is. All right, it's build time. Some of the bottom colors are gonna be low-key mismatched, but that's okay. Now we're finally getting some red on Braun, because, you know, he's a red dude. Was a red dude, instead of, you know, being a rad dude. All right, we have a pretty much full body done. Bro, he's so multicolored right now. I'm gonna call him multicolor Braun. Bro, what is this shape? Oh no, it gets worse. No, those are supposed to connect in there? What? I'm so confused right now. All right, so these are the legs, supposedly. And then these are the back legs. All right, and now we're just gonna add on to his feet, because that works. Oh, speaking of feet, here's the actual foot. Did I say feet? I meant legs. Well, now I meant feet. All right, and then we have this one miscolored 1x1. Okay, this is slowly looking like him. Yeah, that's what I'll keep telling myself. Okay, I'm anxiously waiting for a surprise. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I'm out of 1x1s. Okay, round piece. But we do have one of these, which gives us the actual full, like, dino neck dealio. Sweet. All right, now it's time for the head. All right, we have this eye here and this eye here, bruh. I mean, that's Braun. I have to say this is probably one of the worst builds we've probably done, but he does look like the character. And more importantly, I could go up on him and ride him like a dinosaur. Get along, little dino, get along. Bro, he does not look amused. I'm not amused either. Ugh. But you know what? Since he's the shortest character we've built, I could probably put him right up here with the Doctor, even though he's, you know, supposed to probably be a level lower. But it wouldn't be a Poppy Playtime video if I didn't build a Huggy Wuggy. But don't worry, this one's gonna be simple, because I can only use simple parts like 1x1s, 1x6s, and 1x2s, and maybe some plates. All right, we're gonna open back up the app, scan, and we should have enough parts to build a Huggy Wuggy. You know, the main icon of all of Poppy Playtime, other than the player, of course. Wow, all right, let's see, do we have enough for a Huggy Wuggy? Noob Huggy. All right, let's try Noob Huggy. Wow, this guy's gonna be tall, what the heck? Whoa, it's still going? What? It's like that Kylo Ren meme where he's like, more! More! Bro, is this feels like enough. More! Okay, fine. All right, that's definitely enough. More? All right, fine. Whatever you say, boss. All right, this is gonna be so fragile. Wow, this guy's huge. All right, now we're gonna add, now we're adding the arms, and this is like the down arm. I guess he's gonna have like an upright arm too. But so far we've only used 1x1s, 1x2s, and is this an 8? Yeah, 1x8s. Very simple, very simple. Okay, whoa, this guy's drooping down. Okay, no, it needs to droop more. The droop is not enough. All right, that looks like some good droopage. Is that a word, droopage? All right, well anyway, his arm is going up now. All right, awesome. All right, we have this headpiece, this, and there's the mouth. Whoa, this guy's getting pretty intense looking. What the heck? Bro, this might be the most scary Huggy Wuggy I've ever built. And what's worse is he's not even that detailed. I guess sometimes less is more. Yo, look at this guy. Yo, he's actually awesome. All right, this is definitely getting a 10 out of 10. Wait, I want to stand him up next to a minifigure. All right, so here's Huggy Wuggy, and here's me. What the heck? You're freaking gigantism. All right, let's put him in the tower. All right, now level 1 seems a little on the low side. Level 2 seems a little off. What if we just put him off the side? Okay, we're just gonna put him right here behind Huggy. Oh no! No, Huggy Wuggy! Alright guys, well, I tried to fix Huggy Wuggy. I'm gonna send you to the next video. No, Huggy Wuggy! Today I'm taking all the scariest Poppy Playtime characters and recreating their deaths in LEGO. Starting with our boy, Huggy Wuggy. Now in the first game, Huggy was introduced as this big bad monster who chased you down hallways, jumped you, and ate you. Wait, what? And at the end of the game, you kinda do this to him. No, Huggy Wuggy! Wait, is that blood? Anyway, to recreate this scene, I needed to do a couple things. First, I needed to download Blender, and of course, the Brickify app, because it has instructions for all the characters that I could think of, including Huggy Wuggy. And once we got his instructions using Brickify, I was able to go all around and build the entire scenery involving his death. From the hallways we built using these pieces, as well as the bridge, which we're gonna have to break, because that's what happens in the game. So we rigged it to break when this box piece falls on it, or rather when we drag it down, but Huggy has to be on the bridge too, so we could stop him from trying to end us. And then after that, we just have to send Huggy plummeting to his demise. Well, at least until chapter 4. But this is the actual first death we were able to recreate. Now the next important death was Mommy Longlegs. She's the main bad guy in chapter 2, and she's also another experiment of the prototype. We're gonna have to make later because he has her arm attached to him. But we're gonna have to make a pretty brutal death with this giant shredder. And what I wanna know is, why do toy factories need all of this? Like literally, what kind of toy company are they running? Anyways, I started to build out the whole room, used a bit of these pieces, these ones, and these slopes. And then of course the last thing I had to build was the shredder, because we're gonna have to, animate it later. And next I had to build up our Mommy Longlegs, which shouldn't be too difficult, truthfully. I mean, the thing is, you just stretch her out a little bit, and as long as she gets caught in the shredder at the end, it doesn't really matter how long she ends up being. All right, let's play it out.
What have you done? You make me part of you! You can't do this to me!
Now the next character we have to recreate the death of is Catnap. He was the big bad guy in chapter 3 of Poppy Playtime, and basically was a giant version of a smiling critter. He was also super loyal to the prototype, and we do literally anything for him. He also had legitimately the most brutal death in the entire game. First we electrocute him, then he gets lit on fire, then he thinks all good and the prototype's coming to protect him, but he isn't, because he stabs him. Yeah, so I gotta simulate that in LEGO. Starting off, I have to pick out which Catnap I want to design, because there are a few of them, but I settled on building this one. Then it was just a matter of building out the body, the legs, the head, the eyes, the mouth, like a normal functioning creature. Then next I had to rig the fire animation. Bro looks in pain. Then we just had to texture it out to make it look a little more realistic. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And now we just need to make it darker. And like that, I think we fully recreated the scene. Alright, now this next character is one of my favorites from all of Poppy Playtime, and it's Doughy the Dough Man. He's this cute big fella made out of Play-Doh, who's silly and your friend, and also eats people, including his mom. Yeah, he kind of has anger issues. I don't usually do that when I get upset at people. Now his death was kind of crazy. Actually, really crazy. Because he got frozen, melted, squished by this thing, and then, I don't even know if that's what killed him. There's a very solid shot that Doughy might be alive, because honestly, nobody in this game really dies. Well, except for Catnap. Yeah, that guy's gone. Now this all happened in this giant freezer room, and I decided we needed to build it out of Lego. So I built up the floor and added these caution tapes to them. We also have these trap doors, and I made the walls really, really tall. We also added these pipes to the wall, and I built this giant thing that ended up crushing him. I also added little railings and details, but the more complicated one I have to build is Doughy, because when he's in his weird megalo monster state, he's all colorful. But then as the game goes on, he gets, more frozen and colored blue. So we're gonna make the blue version of him. And he has this really lobster-like looking body with all the claws and littler claws. And then we have all these little legs going up to bigger legs. And then we have a functioning body. And I also wanted to add claws because he has like 12 of them, which is like nuts for a guy made out of Play-Doh. Then we added a neck, head, these little teeth thingies, and his like octopus looking tentacles. And that's frozen monster Doughy. The first thing we had to do was properly position Doughy on the platform, and then it was just a matter of properly rigging this giant thing that crushes him. We had to bring it up, figure out how to make it spin, and do all its little animations. At the same time, you know, we had to make sure Doughy's body would react appropriately. And then we had to look a little closer at it from this angle, the one from the game, and then we just spun it and completely crushed Doughy. Yeah, but the issue is his face kind of molded into the ground, and that's not going to work long term. But here's what we got for the final death scene.
Can't trust anyone! I tried to be better, to be who they needed. Smart enough, not good enough, not...
Now the next character death isn't exactly a death, but it is from chapter 5. And it's when we're finally introduced to the prototype, and one of the things he did was pop Poppy, literally shattering her face and popping out her eyeball. Now to do this scene I had to build up the prototype and Poppy, and the Poppy was super easy because it was also in the Brickify app. But the prototype was harder. So thanks to Brickfolk for help with this design, because we did the base, attached the legs, ribs, mech stuff. Then we added the arms of Mommy Longlegs, Huggy Wuggy, and Kissy Missy, more guts, more ribs. And we also added a torso, arms with swords attached to them, a head with the clown hat, and the face. And doing the scene was actually not too bad, because I cut it down a little bit because it wasn't actually a death. And this is what we were able to come up with.
Like a child, because
a child
is what they made you.
You're hurting me!
Don't be afraid.
Now the side main bad guy from chapter 5 we thought was gonna be Lily Lovebraids. She was this teacher lady who was turned into this girl toy with purple hair, and she got pretty angry at us for ruining her tea party.
I let you come to my tea party! And this is how you repay me!
Anyways, when she died, she was on this cloud thing, and we kind of have an easy shot on her in this game. You know, after her hair tries to eat you a million times. Now, recreating this looks easy, but it's not, because I don't know how I'm supposed to do that hair yet. And for the minifigure, I snapped in the arms, the head, the legs. Oh, hey there, Lily. Hi. The next thing I had to do was set up the hair model, which was honestly super complicated. I mean, look at all these spikies. And then we could just make it free-flowing, and I attached it to the hair mold. Then it was just a matter of coloring it. Even though this isn't something you'd probably see on a Lego minifigure, it looks good for the animation purpose. And now it's just time to animate. So then we had to do this whole thing, building up the cloud, then having the grab pack, touch the little button up there as Lily's freaking out. And then of course we have to drop and shatter the cloud.
I let you come to my tea party! And this...
Now these next deaths are probably the saddest in the entire game, because it's the actual death of Huggy Wuggy and Kissy Missy. Yeah, apparently he didn't die from that first fall.
Bruh.
Now lucky for me, we already have the prototype built, because you know, he stabs them. But the last Huggy Wuggy we used wasn't as screwed up, so we need to make a more screwed up looking one, as well as make a damaged version of Kissy, because they're both missing arms, because you know, they're attached to the prototype. And doing this whole scene took a fair bit of time, because Mr. Prototype is kind of a jerk and really hard to animate. I mean, bro has like 6 legs. Kissy and Huggy were a little bit better. They weren't the best though, so I did the best I could, and this is what we were able to make. Now the last person that I need to kill is you. Yes, that's right, the player. He's behind me, isn't he? Wait, where'd he go? Now, if you remember in the game, the player was literally being chased. And then all of a sudden, just swords go through your, screen and you're dead. It's like you forgot the grab pack was on you entirely. But this was a pretty simple scene because, he was just running away and got stabbed. We just need to make some hallways and then, have Lego knives stab us. So I got this old hallway from another animation and just did the same thing. So here it is. And then we just started running. This is Yarnaby, and this is him as a Brickcraft set. And today I'm going to build, assemble, and survive every single Poppy Playtime custom set I could find, including Yarnaby, Dr. Harley Sawyer, Catnap, and even Dog Day. So stay tuned, because by the end of this video, we're going to recreate one of their deaths. Anyways, Lego. Now, Poppy Playtime is one of the most terrifying horror franchises literally ever. You're trapped in an abandoned factory full of killer animatronics, twisted experiments, and monsters that want to kill you. From Catnap stalking you through the dark, to Dog Day chained to the wall, begging you to escape, and now we have them as sets. So let's start with the first one, Yarnaby. Now in the game, Yarnaby is this lion-looking guy who's made out of yarn, and he was chosen by Dr. Harley Sawyer for the Bigger Bodies initiative. Oh yeah, and by the way, he has this really scary eating feature where he could open his face and eat you. And he also had a pretty gruesome death, but we'll talk about that in a second. And here it is. Now this is made by the company Brickcraft, and it has real yarn. So I'm excited to crack it open. Oh, by the way, if you want to cop one of these, I'll leave a QR code right here. Yo, okay, this is gonna be sick. All right, there's only one thing left to do with the box. Yeet. You have bag 3, bag 2, bag 1, and bag yarn. Bro, this looks so cool. I low-key want to see, what are we supposed to open first? Oh, yo, they're advertising Kissy, these boys. Oh, okay, so this is bag 1's objective. I want to open up this bag because this thing looks crazy. I've never seen a physical Lego set with yarns before. Look at this, bruh. Bro, he's gonna have teeth too. Look at this. Bro, it's literally Yarnaby. And it just comes with this whole brick. It's just a whole brick and you just gotta fluff it out, make sure it's all fluffy. And then I think it'll just connect like this or something. I don't know, probably not. All right, bro, that could be the set right there. I've never seen Lego bricks like this before. This is why Brickcraft knows how to do it. All right, now we gotta actually make this work. All right. Oh, yo, that's a lot of teeth. I don't think this brick exists either. This is a custom piece. Okay, so we have this build, and then we're going to do this one. See, they actually color this piece right with these guys. Why can't normal bricks do this? I don't understand. All right, but these ones are still gray. I don't know what that's about. That's kind of lame. All right, it's fur time. I don't know where exactly this side's supposed to go, so we're just gonna yeah, that'll work. Make sure the yarn doesn't get caught. I never even thought that would ever be an issue on a brick set. All right, and then I guess this one's going to go here. Okay, we got that, and now we have the head, but it wants me to do, I think, the blue one first. I'm a little confused. There we go. This one we're gonna put here. Yo, this feels so weird. And then we can put in teeth. 1 tooth, 2 tooth, 3 tooth, 4 tooth, 5 teeth. Awesome. And then I guess that's going to connect here. So that's side 1. At some point I missed a part. That's a little bit of a big part to be missing, but we're too deep in. Yo, there's it's hollow in there. Okay, and then what should be able to happen is I think they're supposed to yes. Oh, that's sick. Yeah, so what's supposed to happen is they could close the mouth and then you just, but you need to line it up properly to make sure everyone can go in. Okay, sweet. Look at that. Bro's got teeth. What a guy. All right, now we're gonna do the legs, which should be pretty simple. All right, let's go wrap up the legs. Bro looks a little exhausted. All right, we're just gonna clip in a leg, another leg, this one over here, and this one over here. And here's our boy Yarnaby. Oh no, bro. Oh, I killed him. Okay, wait, get back in there, get back in there. Yeah, so question, how does Yarnaby smile? Does this mouth here open or does this mouth open? Because because this one's a little scarier. He's got no tail, he's got kind of a round tush. You know, he's just kind of a bro, just chilling. Oh bro, no, his toes came off. I think it's probably the weakest, most fragile part about this set. But the fact that he has real yarn literally built into the thing is so freaking cool. I've never seen that on a custom set before. Yo, I kind of wonder what he looks like with Pianosaurus, because he's pretty big. Yay, now they can be boys and fight the player. Bro, this is like the ultimate Chapter 4 squad. Well, minus Doughy. Where's that boy? Brickcraft, please make Doughy the Doughman and the player. And Pianosaurus, actually, too. Ugh. Now listen, I can't recreate his death scene because that would be a fire hazard. But what if instead I made another character die way harder? But you're gonna have to stay tuned for that. But before I could do that, I want to build his creator, Dr. Harley, aka the Doctor. And we have the parts to do it. This is hopefully what it ends up looking like. But yeah, they should have some pretty interesting pieces. Oh wow, look at the silver pieces, that's so cool. All right, this one should be interesting. Yo, and here's the Doctor from Chapter 4. Now, the Doctor did make an appearance in Chapter 5 and is going to be a main character in Chapter 6. So who knows, maybe he'll bring back our boy, Yarnaby. Aw, who's a good little predator. Good boy. Thanks, Dad. Now this build is insane. He literally has all this wiring coming out of him. He has this silver cape and the TV head. We also have enough red parts left over to make his eyes red, or I could just do that in editing.
Well now.
Also, does this count as the Doctor? Is this just one of his guys that got frozen when they tried to kill him? So all I have to do is type some things on my phone and boom, he's dead. Bleh. All right, now this Dr. Sawyer build is pretty cool. I don't know if it's as cool as Yarnaby. I think Yarnaby might be cooler, but I want to build our next character, one of the most consequential ones from the entire game, Catnap, but the smiling critter version. All right, we're gonna try opening this sucker. All right, get up there, come on. Sweet. Yo, look at bro, that's crazy. Yo, we got the Yarnaby ad, the Kissy ad. All right, and then we're gonna add the tail. This guy is thick. All right, now it's time to build Catnap's head. And I'm just gonna start right off the bat by adding the nose. I think that'll look good. Yo, this is gonna be a really weirdly shaped head. Like, look how thick these boys are. All right, now one of the things that's noticeable about Catnap is his ears. So I'm gonna try and fix them. All right, and here's one of them. And here's ear number 2. Now you guys saw that face, so hopefully that shouldn't be super difficult to get done. So to back it up, we need to put this piece down. Those these ones. Oh, and I guess this is for the back of the head. All right, and here's the head. Now before we put it on, I have to build him a platform. All right, here's the base, and we're gonna connect the feet and the torso, and then we have the head. Fire, bruh. Now this is smiling critter version of Catnap, not the one that the prototype, you know. So I don't know how well he fits in with the boys like Yarnaby. Yarnaby's still definitely my favorite out of all of them. But we still have to do our next one, Dog Day, who might also be the freakiest character in the game and most lovable looking smiling critter. Because, you know, who doesn't like dogs? Well, yeah, unless the dog's doing that. Yeah, okay, it's a pretty straightforward build, very similar to Catnap. So let's speed build it. Yo, he looks so happy. Yeah, yeet. Alright, and here's our boy Dog Day, who looks significantly friendlier as a smiling critter than as, you know, the monster that tries to, like, you know, kill you. And here he is with our boy Catnap. Aw, they could be like buddies together. They even have the same head print. Oh, my legs, my legs, oh. Alright, now that we have Dog Day built, I want to do a bit of a creative death, because the other ones kind of catch on fire. La 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 la. You want? Look, it's an actual dog. You want to eat him? Alright, we're going to take care of him. Say goodbye to Dog Day. No! no! Bro's literally drowning. He's swimming away. What are we gonna do? Bro is befuzzled. Help me save Dog Day. This is my table covered in Lego bricks, and today I'm going to challenge myself to build the Playtime Co. factory in Lego, where each level will represent a different chapter of the game, going all the way to the top with the prototype. So stay tuned, because by the end of this video, I'm gonna fill the factory with every toy. Anyways, Lego. Now, Poppy Playtime Chapter 5 just came out and is one of the most important chapters in the game, finally introducing the prototype. So I'm gonna start by building the first chapter on the first floor, second on the second floor, and all the way up until we hit Chapter 5. And we're gonna start by dumping out all my bricks onto the table, because the first thing I'm gonna need to build from the game is the player grab pack. And it should be pretty simple because I downloaded the Brickify app and scanned all the parts I dumped out, and boom, we have a bunch of instructions for things, including the grab pack. Now we're still missing one of the macaroni pieces, so I need to go to my collection to grab one. All right, we have yellow, yellow, yellow. Oh, there we go. And these macaroni pieces should work really well. All right, where's this backpack? It's going to be over here. It's gonna be by the pink. It's gonna be somewhere here. There it is. All right, the first thing I have to build is the back, and then I have to slide this little axle through it. I think this is called an axle. Then we gotta connect those macaroni pieces to keep it locked in. Boom. Now this looks more like a grab pack. All right, next I'm going to add some yellow studs and then some blue ones. Boom and boom. Okay, next we gotta add the handles, because you know the minifigure has to hold the grab pack. So we're gonna have one here. So we're gonna add a yellow one here and a yellow one here. And next is black. Boop, boop. And for the clip, I have a blue one, but the red one's a little darker than I wanted. All right, we're just gonna lock this in and put on the head. And here's Blocky wearing the completed Lego grab pack. I mean, look at this thing. Maybe later we'll use it to go somewhere. But in the meantime, I'm going to put it on level 1 of the tower. And here's the whole factory, and we're gonna go all the way down, and right here, we're gonna put our boy Blocky, make block face. But the next character we're gonna have to build after the grab pack is Huggy Wuggy. He was created in Chapter 1 and chased you down this hallway in this really freaky scene. And I've built my fair share of Huggy Wuggies before, but this one should be different. But the first thing I have to do again is scan. It's Huggy Wuggy time. Alright, so we're gonna start with the body. Alright, and now we have the body. Now it's time for the head. Alright, we're gonna add the teeth to the head, and of course, the smile. Alright, smile time. Alright, now we just gotta plug in the eyes. Awesome! Alright, let's just wrap up the head. Literally. And there we go, now we have Huggy Wuggy's lips and head. And we're just gonna attach it to the torso. And now I have to build the legs. Now right now Huggy has these very tiny arms, so we have to build him normal Huggy-sized ones, so that he can give you a hug. Alright, and we're gonna start with the left arm, or his right arm. Alright, now we're just gonna tag on this arm over here. Click! And now we have to do the next arm. Alright, and then we're gonna add his elbow, which is gonna have this part, as well as this part, and the hand. Boom, he's giving a thumbs up. Alright, and we're gonna click this in, and like that, we have a fully functional Huggy Wuggy. Alright, and here's my fully functional Huggy Wuggy. He's got posable arms, posable legs, and he'll totally jump scare you. Bro, what are those eyes? Hey, I'm gonna give him a hug. No, Walter, don't do it. Alright, and now we're gonna put him in the Playtime factory. And we're going to add him here. Oh, dang it. Alright, Huggy, have a city. Awesome, now we have Huggy and the grab pack. I'm sure nothing bad happens with them in the factory, right? Ah, is that Huggy Wuggy? Alright, we're gonna get out of here. Huggy Wuggy, oh no. Alright, we gotta go. Now the next character I need to build is Mommy Longlegs. She was one of the main bad guys in chapter 2, and we're gonna build her. And for her, we're gonna use a lot of these special curved pieces. Alright, so let's open Brickify again and scan. And this time I put a bunch of pink parts on the table, so we should have enough for a Mommy Longlegs. So let's scan. Alright, let's do Mommy Longlegs. I think this should be enough parts. We're missing a few. First, let's build Mommy's long legs. Alright, connection time. Alright, we do this and then a stud hopper. Alright, and we have Mommy Longlegs' legs. Now it's just time for the rest of her. Yeah, that's a bad color. Alright, next I have to build her torso. Alright, so we're gonna add this arm here, and now we need to add extensions. Oh shoot. Yeah, this isn't the most stable build in the world. Alright, and then we're gonna continue extending. Bada bing, bada boom. Then we're gonna extend her arms even further. Awesome. One thing they don't tell you about Mommy Longlegs is she also has long arms. Boom, now we just have to do another one. Alright, let's put this here. Sweet. Then we just gotta extend her arm. Alright, now the last thing I have to build is the head. And the next thing I have to add is her little necklace piece. Then I'm adding these studs for her neck. And I guess this piece is going to be for her face. Alright, had to replace that because it was not hanging on. Alright, let's finish her head. And I'm taking her body off to do it. Now it's time for Mommy Longlegs' long hair. Alright, now we have the head. All I have to add is the eyes. We got 1 and 2. Oh yeah, and the mouth. Can't not have that. That would be weird. Oh, the gray face doesn't look great on her. And like that, we have a barely stable Lego Mommy Longlegs. Now this Mommy Longlegs isn't my favorite build in the world. It gets the job done, but the legs aren't that long. In fact, I think the arms are longer, which is ridiculous for a Mommy Longlegs. Overall, though, I like the build, and she's just as creepy as in the game. I guess that means it's time to add her to our Chapter 2 factory. So we're gonna take off this, and we might even need to shorten her legs again. Next, we're going to level up to the next level, which is, I guess, what you do on levels. And we're gonna put Mommy Longlegs here. And she can sit right on top of Huggy Wuggy. And since in Chapter 2, Mommy Longlegs captured Poppy, I need to go get my Poppy minifigure. Where is she? Not here, apparently. Where's Poppy? Wait a minute, she is over here. There's my Poppy minifigure. Alright, we're just gonna put her down and whoa, she's perfect. Oh, this duo is popping. And don't worry, we're gonna fill this next layer with characters from Chapter 3, and there are a lot of them. Starting with the main villain from Chapter 3, Catnap. Now, Catnap's one of the prototype's big experiments, and I have a bunch of purple parts that we could use for him. And we should have enough for instructions here, so let's try scanning. This should be enough for a full-on Catnap. Alright, we're just gonna open up the app, scan our parts, and we're gonna let the scanner run. There we go, it's Catnap. Alright, let's build it. Alright, and the first thing we have to build is the torso. Alright, and now we're adding the first legs. Alright, and now we have Catnap's first and second back legs. Now we have to do the front ones. And I think he has a tail too, so probably that. Alright, clip and click, and then we're gonna click in this, and finish out the rest of the legs. Alright, now it's just time for the front feet. Now we just need to add his claws. Alright, now we're gonna snap on his tail. And now it's time to prepare for the head. Alright, let's wrap up his face. Now we just gotta snap in the eyes. Now the thing that's crazy about Catnap and all the characters we've built so far is the prototype literally has their body parts on his body. He has Huggy's and Mommy's arm and Catnap's like back skin. I don't know, but we gotta put Catnap in the Poppy Playtime factory. Alright, we're gonna have the cat hiding in the corner. But he's not the only character from Chapter 3 we're gonna do because we have another room. So the next character I'm gonna put in that room is Dog Day. He kind of leads the smiling critters. So we're gonna scan all these parts with Brickify and see if we have enough for him.
Yo, no way, we have 98% of the pieces.
All right, let's build this dog. So we're gonna start with his legs. Click, click, bada bick. Bro, what happened to his legs? All right, let's keep building. All right, we have a full body now. All right, so we're gonna attach this and build out his arm and hand. There we go. If I remember, in the game, they low-key crucified, bro. So this should be similar. And we're gonna do that in our factory. Wait, what? All right, and next up is this piece, which I think is gonna let us build out a head. Now we gotta build out his ears. So let's finish those. And then we're gonna do these pieces. Now the last thing I need to do is the face. So we got on the mouth, the smile, and the littler smile. Oh yeah, and then he has to have eyes. I see you.
I see.
All right, now we're gonna slap on this and slap on this. And here's our fully completed dog day. Yo, he looks great. Yo, now this guy's pretty doggone epic. So we're gonna add him to the factory. And we're so close to filling this entire thing. We still have chapters 4 and 5. But in the meantime, all right, and now we have 2 characters from chapter 3 right here. Now we're gonna fill up this next floor with someone special. All right, so this next character we're gonna build using the app is gonna be pretty doughy. All right, first we're gonna do Doughy's feet. All right, first we're gonna build Doughy's torso, then we're gonna add his arms. He's got orange, red, yellow, all the colors of the Play-Doh. I mean rainbow. All right, there's Doughy's body. Now let's just add on his head. All right, let's add an eye and another eye, or more like a giant hole, because that's kind of what he has there. And the last thing I need to add is his top hat, which we're gonna use one of these for, as well as one of these. And boom, we have Doughy the Dough Man. Yo, he looks awesome. Doughy was actually one of my favorite characters from all of Poppy Playtime, even though, you know, he killed Pianosaurus and, you know, got completely crushed as that weird, I don't even know what that was.
Who and Poppy?
But here he looks cool. Now lucky for us, Doughy's not the only character we're putting up here from chapter 4, because we're also gonna build the Doctor. Now Harley Sawyer was a doctor at Playtime Co., but then he became a TV screen, and all his organs were like stored in like computer systems. And is he a bad guy? Kinda, not really actually. Well, we did see him by the end of chapter 5. So let's build him. All right, scanning, scanning, scanning. All right, let's see if we have enough parts for him. There he is. Boom, the Doctor. Okay, let's build him. All right, let's add legs. All right, the first thing we got is his legs. They're very unstable right now. All right, now we gotta add this and one of these. All right, and apparently we're giving him some type of hips right now. I don't know why. We got an arm and another arm. Bada boom. Oh yeah, he also comes with a cape, but I honestly don't know how this is supposed to like attach. Okay, ready? Bada boom. And then we have the head. Bada bing, bada boom. Oh shoot, I got ahead of myself. All right, and the last thing I'm going to add is his eye. All right, there's the Doctor. Look at this guy. He's freaking dope. He does look like a robot though. We're gonna put him with our boy, Doughy the Dough Man. There's so many more characters I wanted to do, like Yarnaby or Pianosaurus, but we're gonna have to move on to chapter 5. And at the top, we're gonna put the prototype. So let's start with our first character from chapter 5, Giblet. Now, Giblet's one of the main leaders of the Resistance in Poppy Playtime chapter 5, and he fought Lily Lovebraids, the prototype, and a whole bunch of other people. So we're gonna build him. All right, so we're gonna start off with his legs, then go to his torso, and he has this red dot there, and then I gotta plug in an arm and another arm. And then we gotta add on his chunky cheeks and eye. Yeah, because he has an eye patch in one eye. Then he has this little electrocution staff. And boom, we have Giblet, or Giblet. I don't know how to pronounce it, but he comes with a mohawk. He looks like a bear, but someone told me he's a fox. Comment below what you think he is. And he's really freaking cute. Well, not the back side of him. All right, and we're gonna add him to level 5. Oh wow, it's getting dark up here. I guess that means the prototype's coming soon. All right, now the next character we have to build is Chum Chompkins. So I opened up the app, scanned my parts again, and boom, we have enough for Chum. So I started with his feet, his torso, which is this giant mouth, and then we added all these other red parts, and then we're gonna just add in the eyes and the head, and then we had to just add in the arms and the teeth, and of course the mouth. And boom, we have our boy Chum. Oh, he's cool. He's got these like pieces under his arm and his other arm, and he also has a mouth that opens and closes. And he could also eat Walter. Oh. All right, let's put Chum in the tower. Yo, we got the whole squad here. Let's go. Now there's one more character I have to build from Playtime Co. And it is the prototype. Now, I'll be honest, I don't think I could do the prototype right with the Brickify app or my own custom build. So we're gonna design this one digitally. And then hopefully we could even recreate some scenes from the game. So one of the first things we have to do is the base of him, so that way we can attach all those legs. He has like 6 of them. So we're gonna do that. And then we're gonna add on these little like bone structure things. I don't know what you call those, but they're on his design. Huge shout out to Brickfolk, by the way. He gave some interesting designs that we took a lot of inspiration from. All right, let's clip in these legs though. All right, we got one here, one over here, and one over here. Okay, good. All right, that's looking a little bit more like a prototype now. All right, now the prototype's most interesting feature are probably the extra characters that he has attached to him. He literally has the skins of Catnap, Mommy Longlegs, Huggy, and Kissy, and they're just all hanging about. So I added these little clip areas in the front, as well as the Catnap skin in the back, and then we also have this whole like beehive stinger thingy going on. I don't know what you call it. And now I have to work on the arms. We have one for Mommy, one for Kissy, and one for Huggy. And we're just gonna clip those in, and then we also have the rib cage over there. And now I'd say is a good time we could probably start adding the upper half of the prototype. We have the bulk of it done. So we have the ribs, we're now adding his body. Yep, now we gotta add on the arms, and his most iconic feature throughout the entire series is those scissor hands. So we gotta do those. Yo, these look sick. All right, and the last thing we have to add is the head, which is pretty simple, and then the hat. Yo, he looks sick. Now, if you want to see the actual animation, we're going to do it in this video where I recreate the game.